what's going on? I've spent more time on this channel this week than Pete. That sucks. Just kidding. Today's Sunday, though, so it's really good. We've got a special guest. His name is Thad. He's a friend of the channel. He's a friend of some of the friends of the channel and some of the people on the channel. So say hi to Thad.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. All right, and then Dom's going to be coming in late, as usual. He's been grinding hard, yelling at kids, throwing stones at the sky, complaining about it being gray outside. All right.
Kicked out of comic book stores again.
Shrieking at clouds.
He has been banned from every comic store within miles. I don't think he's getting back in it. GTK Comics. Hey, what's up, GTK Comics? Thumbs up. Hi. Dude, he just went crazy. GT made sure that you knew he wasn't just in first. He was first through 10th. Thank you, GTK Comics. Good to see you.
What's up, Brucifer in chat? How you doing, brother?
Oh, whoa, Thad. You got to wait. He's got to
okay.
You can't say hi to him. You can't say hi. He doesn't exist yet.
Oh, okay.
Ruben, what's going on? SW Sundays are my favorite days. Bring on the rants, the SW knowledge. Yes, that's good. Very good. Very good.
Get on here, Ruben. Take a Sunday off.
He's got to take a Sunday. He's coming. He'll be coming soon. He's got to take a Sunday. Tommy Longbox. Star Wars Sunday, baby. Oh, yeah. There you go. Knuckles, pound and pound. Good to see you, Tommy. What's going on?
I love his avatar.
Yeah, that is. It's cool, right? Thumbs up high in case GT Comics forgot to. Oh, he got you, GT. He got you. Ed's saying hi for the algorithm. John, what do we got? Congratulations to the Alabama Crimson. Oh, yeah. Okay. Champions of the SEC. Hey, I'll tell you this: if you watch the pack and the SEC, at least they were games. I've never once before saw a game where they put up how low the scoring and how low, like a tracker of how little yards you're doing in the quarter. That FSU, I'm sorry, Eric. That FSU game was embarrassing. All right. Good evening, Marv. Good evening, Star Wars fans. All right. Good evening, Marv. Vader Prime. Evening, Darksiders. I'm here for my weekly Star Wars news, rants, and reviews. Cheers. And
we got you.
Cool. We got you covered on that.
Got you on that.
Eric, hi. Eric, sorry for John's earlier comments. My bad. Mr. Appleman. Hi, everyone. Apple. Hello, Mr. Appleman. Kingdom of... Here you go, Thad. Kingdom of Nerds.
What's up, Brucifer? How you
Good
doing,
evening,
brother?
Fellas. There you go. Joe. Happy Sunday, Darksiders. Good to see you, Joe. Who's the new guy? We told you who the new guy was. Good. Dan the man. Oh, Dan, are you going to be there are you there on the 9th? Are you going on the 9th? Just tell me if you're going on the 9th, Dan. Dan, good to see you. I watched the new Indiana Jones. I didn't get to that yet. I'm going to watch that real quick.
I got to watch it too.
I know. I'll probably watch it tonight.
This is somebody different. This is not Red 5. It's just that. So
no, we're trying to get Red 5 back on too, though. He'll come back here. He just needs to get some stuff figured out. All right, Bri J. Yo, what up, Marco Wayseeker? You have a shaved head. Yeah. What's up, Don Vito? Don Vito's not here yet, but he will be here. And yes, he has. Wayseeker last week trimmed a lot of the hairs.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Oh, if you need to get in, let me know. And nah, man, I'll be good. I got enough people. Thanks. All right, appreciate it. All right, let's get in. Thad is going to help us out. We're going to get into news, and we're going to hear his point of view from a lot of stuff. Just a little bit of background with Thad real quickly. We were talking pre-show. Oh, and I got to tell you about an auction that's about to end. Let me see that auction.
I think it just ended.
Did it just end? 86. Ooh, that's a new low. All right. Thad was talking a lot of EU stuff, and I quizzed his knowledge for 5 minutes on it, and Wayseeker was awkwardly quiet. But the rest of us were enjoying ourselves, me and Thad talking about it either way. Also, too, I didn't review any comics this week. This week, we're giving the reins over to Wayseeker.
We're giving the radio to Wayseeker. Marco doesn't even have the comic book.
Just a spoiler alert. Yeah, I do. I just didn't get it.
He doesn't even know how to get it.
Spoiler alert.
All over. I couldn't find it.
Book report again. If you know anything about Wayseeker, he loves the book reports. He did a book report on a free comic book day book. So we're going to have to see how that works and see if we enjoy it.
I do my best to never be invited to do that segment again. So.
Dude, that was the worst thing I've ever. Whatever. We'll get into it. But before we do, let's get into. Oh, and hey, we're going to, this is the one that we got. A couple people reached out to us about 1-in-100s because we always talk about like stuff low, when to buy, blah, 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 blah. We've grabbed about 10 1-in-100s, a cross spectrum of 1-in-100s, starting times where they sold, roughly if we could find what they sold for coming out the gate, blah, 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 blah. We will be going over all 10 of those, kind of giving you an outlook of like what the 1 in 100 market really looks like that high end variant market, as far as time lapse almost even. So it was interesting. I spent way too much time on it. I will tell you that. I probably won't be doing it again, but maybe we'll see. We will see. But we'll be doing that too at the end. So let's get into news.
Don't listen to Marco. He had nothing else to do this week. He had no comics. He had all the time in the world.
Thank you very much. That's yeah. I thought you were going to talk about your book report. I was already calling you a liar on your book report. Now, yeah, right. All the time in the world. You got it. That's me. All right.
We're going into news. Short, not too much news this week, but we did get the most important news of the week right off the bat,
which is
Merly. Merly is alive and well. Dave Filoni confirms. Didn't die. Didn't get abandoned. Merly has this special ability. He's smart enough of a cat to be able to move up and down the ventilation shafts in Sabine's tower, so he's just fine to be able to get in and get out as needed.
Justin.
So Dave said, as a pet owner, he understood our concerns, but no need for us to worry about Merly.
Of
He's
course.
doing great.
Does it surprise anybody at all that Dave owns cats? He smells like somebody. He looks like he smells like somebody who owns cats. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying he does look like somebody who smells like they own cats. Number two, could we please just focus? Okay, we've got a lot of stuff you need to focus on. One, before people have mental breakdowns, could you try to explain maybe the world between worlds? So don't worry about cats. I don't think anybody really actually does care about cat and ventilation shafts. I don't think we didn't need that, right?
We needed it. Everybody wanted to know what happened to Merly.
Not everybody. No.
Humans don't like pets. You're the one that doesn't care about this stuff. Everybody else cares about what happened to Merly.
My fiance actually did care what happened to the lolcat, so.
Yeah. You don't understand.
Okay, so like 3 or 4 people cared, so we all need. I don't know if you guys are doing a poll on this one, but let's poll it real quickly. Which one do they more care about? How a cat went up and down the shaft, or what the heck is the world between worlds? I'm willing to bet that if you're a longtime Star Wars fan, maybe love a lot of Dave's stuff, but recently have been a little bit disappointed. World Between Worlds is going to go a little bit high priority towards, the cat went into a ventilation shaft.
I don't think people hate pets as much as you, so I think you're wrong.
It's not pet. It has nothing to do with pets. I don't hate pets.
You hate
pets. I don't understand pets.
You hate pets.
No, that's not true. That's true. I don't hate pets. I think people that have pets are codependent. That's it. And I don't understand it. But this one right here, I think World Between it's the truth. World Between Worlds. That's the whole big secret. I know. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, I'll explain my codependency to my Chihuahua. Okay.
That's it. Yeah. Right. See, there you go. There you go. Right. Right on. When you take your turkey on an airplane, and pet them while you're going to Thanksgiving, just let us know where it is. But yeah, I mean, I think that's cute. But isn't this something that should have been like in after shots or something like that instead of like, oh, by the way, and the World Between Worlds didn't exist here because I don't know how it works, and I'm sorry to all those fans. Oh, by the way, lolcat that nobody really knows, but now we have the name Merly for some reason, which climbs up and down a ventilation shaft. Okay, I mean, has your life changed by that news? Has anything that you figured out in this realm of the Filoni-verse, has anything changed because this cat goes up and down?
Confirms that Dave Filoni likes pets. That's good. He's a good human being.
Even though this particular animal, I mean, I like the lolcat and everything, but this face, it's disturbing. There's something uncanny about it. It's got an almost human froggy. It's got a very human mien, and it kind of disturbs me.
All right, so there we go.
Of course, we may find out one day that Merly is smarter than the rest of the people in the Star Wars universe.
Quite possible.
Maybe he's a true Sith Lord.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I mean, can't we just Jar Jar that character too? All
right. So we got some good news this week on Bad Batch.
What was it?
Sound mixing is complete. We got that confirmed that they are almost nearly finished with post-production, just a few days away on Twitter. So this thing is looking like it is set up for a late winter, early spring release.
Do we know how many episodes this is?
16.
Jeez, it's long again.
It's going to be 16 episodes again.
Is it going to be done after this?
Final season. Yep.
I think
this is the last season. So I mean, last time it came out in like March or whatever. I have a feeling we're going to be about the same type of release.
Time. Yeah.
This will be the next show I think up. So
they are running right on track. Hey, this is the deal. I know you're the only person who watches the like little Jedi whatever with Blue Bee character or whatever, the blue bear. But the kids actually really like this Bad Batch. I mean, Bad Batch, the kids like it. The boy dig it.
Oh, I can confirm my grandchildren like it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a home run. Now, Snookums the blue bear, on the other hand, I'm not quite sure anybody's ready for that yet.
Everybody's ready. Coming back with more episodes for that one too. That one will probably be out in January, February. Some more episodes. They just keep pushing out, tons.
I can't say I've watched the Young Jedi Adventures, but just about every other thing Star Wars I've watched.
Yeah,
I started off watching the first season and I wasn't, but the second season does intrigue me because of the High Republic crossover. So
I think for John, it's this season where everyone dies. I think most everyone should die.
Yeah.
One or two maybe one will survive. I think Omega is going to survive, but I don't know about anybody else.
But then that's going to be weird. Like, where are you going to put Omega?
I don't know. But I don't think she'll die.
He doesn't have a camera set up, right?
Yeah, my camera actually burned out on me, and I have to get another one. So,
yep. So we'll see, but I'll watch it. We'll review it somehow or other.
Yeah, we'll go through it again.
Yeah,
we might do 2 at a time.
Yeah, it took a while to go through all those.
Well, it might pick the pace back up now, though.
I hope since they have an ending date and they know where they're going, they can kind of move this.
I do along. Actually, if this converts into something that you can convert Omega into like an out of the, I'm not even going to say out of the Skywalker area. I'm just going to say out of Coruscant and Core World area, like someplace different. Like if you could put her into, I mean, are we doing unknown anymore, or is it now just called Outer Realm? What is it called now? Because they kind of combine
unknown.
There's still the unknown regions, yeah.
Kind of. But then it seems like some of the unknown regions is kind of mixed with, like now when they're doing High Republic, we're getting some of the unknown regions is just the Outer Rim, kind of, we think, because we don't really know. So, I mean, I just wonder, whatever we're doing.
The Outer Rim was the unknown regions at that time. That's the difference.
Oh, is that what you think? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, either way, let's put her someplace, even if it's Outer Rim. Just not core worlds, you know what I mean?
Right.
Let's get her some Outer Rim experience.
My opinion on this, like,
and then, Go ahead.
She's an interesting character, and I would like to see more done with her. Of course, I have the same opinion about Cal Kestis in the Jedi games right now. I hope that we sometime soon get maybe these characters in live action.
I don't need it in live action. I just need it, like we were kind of talking ahead of time. I guess that's probably why I was more disappointed than not in Ahsoka. I just need an ending for them. So, like, if you want to keep telling their story, go ahead. But I need them to end a storyline. So let's end Bad Batch. And then if we want to start an Omega storyline, cool, let's do that. And if we want to introduce a new character, I don't mind going from, I guess I'm getting to a point here now because of just how everything's moving. You got media, the way it's changing too. You got to take it into consideration. How they're changing consideration, like they're see it go from live action to animation and fill in holes, then go from animation to live action. It just does not seem to be working well doing that.
That would work too, in my opinion.
Yeah. Would you imagine this? If she goes out into the Outer Rim, she becomes female Boba Fett?
That'd be cool.
No, she's
that would be super cool, bro.
It's not going to happen.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, at the very least. She's going to be way cooler than Boba Fett because Boba Fett's not interesting at all. But where's
her next to the cast?
You know, Bri J, I have the same opinion about Andor.
Andor was good.
It was good, but there was also boring aspects to it too. It's just like, but see, you have to understand, my parts of Star Wars that I love are like anything that deals with like the Force and the religion of the Force, and now that Jedi, Sith, whatever, the other Force, groups. Yeah. And also, I'm like a huge starfighter combat kind of guy.
Oh, see, that's it. Yeah.
That's and like the complete opposite. I loved the X-Wing books back in the day, and I'd really love to see that come to live action or even animation. It doesn't matter to me. I want an X-Wing movie, and I was so sad to hear that Patty Jenkins thing got killed. Like I wanted to see that movie.
Yeah, nothing bores me more than Battleship animated. Like it just is not exciting at all. Even if you put wings on it and make the background space, it just is not. So like the things with Andor, I feel more at home where you have rebellion starting up, sedition going on, stuff like that.
That's the great thing about Star Wars, though. There's a little something for everybody if you really pay attention. There's aspects everywhere, and with all of the possibilities of what you can do with that universe.
Yeah,
I mean, it's endless. The possibilities are endless.
When Dom gets here, please reiterate that fact to him.
Oh, I will. Oh, trust me. No, Brucifer. I was on one of Max's shows with Brucifer last night, and he was he was telling them that it was going to be me versus Dom on the show tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this would be kind of cool too, John. I mean, this would be too. I mean, I don't mind them expanding, but that's live action again, and that might be a way to tell the backstory for Skull. Or finished off. Just move it to animation, like. Let's stop defaking stuff, guys. Come on, that doesn't work. That just doesn't work. So
it's uncanny as hell when you deepfake things, which is why I would have been happier if they had recast.
Except for Tarkin. Except for Tarkin.
Yeah, but look, Peter Cushing was a creepy looking fellow anyway.
Yeah.
So uncanny valleying Peter Cushing is not like a problem.
Don't talk about wasting his relatives like that.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next? All
right. Here's one we all want, right? Not at all for me, but we'll see what everybody else wants to say about this one. Vanessa Marshall, she was the voice actress for Hera in Rebels. She wants to make a live action debut in Star Wars as Mara Jade.
No.
Okay.
We do not need Mara Jade in the canon, in my view. It just doesn't fit. I love Mara Jade in the EU, and it's fine with Mara Jade being in the EU. I'd be fine if they, somehow did EU Mara Jade stories in the future and kept it in the EU, but we don't need
What's
it.
Up, Frankie?
Legacy to me.
Frankie.
Not everything needs to be resurrected from the EU. Okay. Do we need another super badass, mega powered Jedi character? No. just no.
Well, I think part of it too is they're it's going to be in a mega, people sometimes, I don't think, with their nostalgia, that your nostalgia isn't going to be the same as the director and writer's nostalgia. So you see Mara Jade in that book is not the same way I see if you read the book. Some people didn't even read the book. Some people just liked the idea of it because they saw her on the cover. But for those that did read the book, I'm just going to tell you, and this is where I always say, set your expectations, right? This is why I love all the newer stuff, all the High Republic crap, because you there's no expectations with it. But this stuff right here, you probably don't want this. And you think you do, but you probably don't.
On here right now, Don would be like, "Yes, please," because he wants.
Yeah, he would say, but he'd say, "I want her half naked and in high heels and being a." But that's not what's going to happen. That's not the character that's going to come out there.
In the gold bikini.
In the gold bikini, right. Yeah. But that's not what they're going to do. So that's not who she was either, by the way.
Here's my opinion of this. I am getting a little tired of Skywalker era Star Wars. Okay?
Hold on real quickly. EU is extended universe. So EU is a lot of the stuff that they had. It was a scattered thing. Stories kind of combined, not really. People got a lot of freeway to write. It was almost like fan fiction in Star Wars. If you had a concept and it was okay, and Lucas didn't say that it was going to mess up his future movies that he never made, they would let you do it. So you got Planet of the Sith, which I always thought the Planet of the Sith stuff really needs to be expanded out. You also got this one where so a lot of stuff you see in that last movie with the artifact things, the whole, all the Empire ships being hidden and coming up, all of the cloning, all that goodness that you guys all hate, that's EU. That's all that stuff was from the EU. Dad read it too, right, Dad? That was all EU.
Yeah. Dude, 100%. And my major problem with the EU, and like I said, like I told you backstage, I've read most of those books. I read a lot of those comics. It got so convoluted after a while.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unless you went with the certain storylines, the ones that were combined, conditioned stories. A lot of the stuff that was in between all those storylines was just so convoluted, so mixed up.
That does suck. Go ahead.
There was a lot of mess there. And like I was saying about the whole Skywalker era thing, look, we have so many stories in this 60-year time period. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm great with that. I really am, But I want to see some Old Republic stuff. I want to see. I am so looking forward to the Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think
I
puts
really,
it yeah.
I really hope that James Mangold movie gets made. The Dawn of the Jedi stuff.
yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I want to see. And in fact, I would really love to see a movie or maybe a limited series or an actual good like running series that goes back to like the start of the Republic. Like, where did hyperdrive come from? How are the Purgils?
Well, I think they're kind of explaining that in the High Republic anyways. But here's what I'll say, just to get back to the EU. Part of the problem with the EU were writers were trying to outright each other, and then they were sloppily throwing in concepts because they didn't want other writers to use it. The most famous example of this happens to be with Mary Jade, because Timothy, as much as we like it, because he did it against what was it, Dark Empire.
Yeah.
He was throwing in a bunch of stuff just to outdo Dark Empire because he was told not to. So when people have the nostalgia for it sometimes, because a lot of stuff showed up in video games and in comics and stuff like that, like, it's the Carl Catan effect, I think. So Carl Catan. Well, I mean, people say they love it, but I don't know if they actually do. What's up, AOA? Good to see you. Hey, Sticks. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a no, right? This is a no.
I have a buddy that's obsessed with Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, and his opinion is that Cal Kestis character is like the modern version of Kyle Katarn.
No, I think that's fair. I think it's based off of it, and it definitely
a little bit, but he's not wearing khaki pants and he doesn't work at the local Starbucks. Here is the one thing I'll ask you though, because I just thought about this. What if they did a new EU where they just had a Mara Jade story? Like, it's almost like What Ifs, but not What Ifs. Like,
I'd be fine with that.
I kind of would be really fine with that.
Do you guys who read the old stuff, do you remember the comic book series Star Wars Infinities?
Oh yes.
Where they went back and did the What Ifs for the
What Ifs in the back end with the publishers and all that other stuff. Yes.
That would be a good thing for stuff like this. For stuff like Mara Jade, for some of the old
Pet Club.
Basically it's like go back and do these little core things, or whatever. Do What If stories. I'm okay with Star Wars What Ifs. In fact, one of the YouTube channels
it'd almost be like Freemakers. Hold on. It'd almost be like the Freemaker situation where it's separate from everything, but still good kind of content. So I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Freemakers are great. I would love to see more Freemakers. I would be fine if they came out with like 1 or 2 non-canon EU books every year.
Or if they did this, like they did that Ahsoka being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. Like, just do Mara Jade as that. Give it 1-2 episodes. I mean, she doesn't need to be that. She could be in a brass bikini for Dom, I guess, if we really want to do it. All right, we've spent 22 minutes. We've got through 2 stories so far. Okay, continue.
Godzilla War Director Takashi
Yamazaki.
Yeah. Wants to direct a Star Wars movie. Do we
Everybody
want
does.
to see Godzilla meets Kylo Ren?
Okay, not so much Godzilla meets Kylo Ren, but I like the idea of this guy coming and trying to do like one of the Toho trained guys coming and trying to do a Star Wars movie, simply because of one of the influences of Star Wars being Seven Samurai. Yeah, and there's a lot of aesthetic that can be used using Japanese style like movie tropes to Star Wars.
Okay, scale, sure. I want to see it, sure, but maybe not the same way you just explained it.
I don't want to see this at all. I know you like Godzilla, Marco.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I like all those characters. So, like I mean, but I'm just thinking about that type of scale of it, and like, I mean, I don't even the moderns. I mean, they just came out with the trailer for Kong times Godzilla today, and it's good. I mean, and that type of story where you have, once again, though, that's like the reverse world thing. So this doesn't. I mean, these all sound like good ideas as long as they don't take place in the main universe, right?
It's going to be like the Rancor versus the Zillo Beast. I don't want to see Rancor versus Zillo Beast.
But what if the Zillo Beast was better done?
Did you guys see Star Wars Visions?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the one where they did the samurai-style Jedi that was trying to defend the village?
Yes.
That's what I see in my head when this guy comes. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That style of...
Yeah.
And
I hear what you're saying.
A one-shot is great. It doesn't even have to involve the main storyline, like you said, Marco. Just put it like... wandering. Do it during the Old Republic era, and then you do like a wandering Ronin samurai Jedi type, going in. Doing that kind of thing.
I just feel like we have the Zillo Beast, and the Zillo Beast is our Godzilla. So I'm just not sure what.
But I think he didn't say he wanted to do Godzilla in Star Wars. He just said he wants a bag like everybody else. And by the way, just get him into Visions or do Vision-like stuff. Like, why don't we just have, like, once again, have the one-shot stuff, but just not have Vision? I mean, Visions is fine. I'm not like Jedi who's like anti, like, oh man, it's in Japanese. Like, okay, well,
do either one of you guys, are you Marvel fans at all?
Marco. Yeah, I like Marvel.
All right. Remember last October, not this year, but like last October when they did Werewolf by Night?
Yeah, when they did the black and white version. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do one-shots like that in Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be perfect.
Fine with that. I'd be fine with that.
100%.
Direct to Disney.
No, he'll be in. He's coming. He's just working late tonight. He'll be in.
Yeah, he's been working extra, so he'll be here. He got here about 20 minutes last week, so I'm guessing we'll be out the same. So keep moving on.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, that's it. I mean, that keeps to be the theme. But go ahead.
Yeah, we'll keep moving on. Katie Sackhoff came out this week. I think I mispronounced her name, whatever.
First 4 Ewoks, no weapons.
And she expects a live-action Bo-Katan Ahsoka crossover to be in the works in the future, and she also thinks that the Mandalorians are going to play the key in the fight against Thrawn.
Well, I mean, Dom he did like this, but now he doesn't like this.
I don't know if he likes it.
I can't remember what side
of the Mandalorians. I would love to see Mandalorians against Thrawn. Like, that would be fun. I would be all for that.
To be honest with you, I think that's going to be a thing. I honestly think that's what they're gearing up the especially since it's the whole Filoniverse thing going on. I think he's gearing up the Mandalorians to help in the battle against Thrawn.
Because of the whole Darksaber thing and on the planet.
Yep.
Maybe. But I'd rather see them fight with Thrawn and take out like the Gist. Like, that's what I'd rather see is that. I'd rather see that. Have like Mandalorians and you have a couple, I mean, even Grandma Jedi here. You could have Grandma Jedi up there and everything else, and they get together to fight this big bad, this, whatever you want to call it. Like
this Abeloth style thing that's coming.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I would rather see that 100% and have them team, like do the ultimate team up to go after it and have a different subsect. So you get to see, like the Mandalorians fight these people and and it makes more sense at that point. But yeah, no, they're probably going to have them team up to go fight, and it's going to be boring, and we're going to be like, oh yay, and then Luke Skywalker's going to show up.
No, Luke's not going to show up, but I don't think this is what we need. I agree. I think this is where we're going to go, and I'd be fine with it because I like the Mandalorians, but I would like to also see Thrawn do something bigger than just build the Republic or build the Empire. Because
who was it yesterday? They were not joking last week when they said, "Yeah, she's a grandma." Like they're like, Ahsoka's a grandma, and I'm like, yeah, she moves like one. She does do that. I don't know.
Yeah. She's also by this point nearly 60 in the storyline. If you think about it,
that doesn't matter. But that doesn't matter. Hondo's 300 years old. He moves fast.
And Togruta's aged differently too. So she's not human. So
she's not a human 60. She's like a 30. She's like 30-year-old playing in pickup league, dude. Like she should have at least some mobility.
Yeah,
but Togruta's aged differently, so I think that's not really fair. Alyssa Wong did come out this week. We talked about this a few weeks ago. It looked like the stars were lining. The Aphra will be ending. Aphra is concluding its second volume with issue 40, and so that will be at the end of January. It is, as I mentioned, playing a role in Revelations. And so Alyssa Wong is writing a story about Aphra. And she seemed to hint that there are more Aphra stories on the way. It doesn't mean that she's going to be involved.
Years.
But it does make me think that they're moving Aphra away from the Luke and Vader timeline, which I'm thrilled about. Get rid of that timeline. This is perfect.
I do too. I like that. But before we do that, there's something more important going on. Bri, Jay, and Frankie are having one of the best conversations of all time in the chat about people going against each other, including Ewoks versus one Chewie versus 4 Ewoks, no weapons, and then it turns into ears only. We need an animator to do that because I think that might be the funniest thing in Star Wars I would ever see. That hey, both you guys right now, you're getting it because you both deserve it. Good job in the chat. I'll give you 2. Good job, guys. That is awesome. You have got me distracted. I heard no words that came out of Wayseeker's mouth. All my head did. I'm looking at Chewie and going like, wait a minute, his ears, and like seeing Ewoks, and it's pretty much headbutting, going after each other, and then flying headbutts. That's all I did. Okay. All right. Anyway, go ahead. So what were you saying now? Something about this being canceled.
I confirmed that Aphra is ending.
So you try to pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
I'd rather pet them on the back because Ewoks fighting a Chewie is better. But yeah, okay. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad they're getting away from this. I think that's the best bet too, right? Let's put her back out into space. Let's have her find things. Let's have her run around, get some artifacts, and stab people in the backs, and do that and have some death droids kill some people.
She's our favorite evil archaeologist.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I wonder if they'll go like when she's younger or when she's older. I'll be interested to see what timeline they put her in.
If they're gonna bring her dad back, and they're gonna do the thing.
I'd be fine with that.
I don't mind as long as if they do it, her flashbacks are in arcs. I don't want to see this where you're doing where you're doing 2 pages of modern day and then 3 pages of flashbacks and then flashing back to 2 more pages of her and then following some other characters that she's not with. That's where she lost it. That's where she started to go bad. Is all of a sudden
I'm just saying, like, what if that's the timeline? What if the timeline is that time period? That's when
everything
takes place.
That everything's in that time period. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But you know where Aphra got bad. All of a sudden, she's like having flashbacks of college, but then they're not even following her half the time. She's not even half her own book. All of a sudden, they're following your girl Santa Staros for some reason. Nobody cares. And then they're coming back to like some other thing about a teacher. That was all garbage. Or they're following Tag at one point. Like have Tag send her away, and then Tag will be like Charlie's in the Angels. That's a thing, right? Didn't Charlie like put the girls on a mission, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we'll have Tag be Charlie, and she'll be the Angels. Her and the 2 Death Droids are the Angels, and they go do missions.
I'd be in.
I'm down.
Dude, can we get that as an animated series? That'd be fun.
No, that'd be a great series. I'll go for it. Yeah. Yeah. So I think
they're Spark Eternal.
I think they're moving away from
what's up, BK?
The Return of the Jedi thing, and they're just leaving Luke, and they're just leaving Vader in that Return of the Jedi timeline, and everything else is going elsewhere. And I'm good.
It's about time.
All these crossovers. You want to do a crossover between Luke and Vader or whatever? Do it. Whatever. It's not everything.
About time. Yep.
It's not everything. If there's crossovers that last for 5 months that don't tell any story, they just ruin Star Wars comics right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Any momentum that Aphra was getting, they just killed.
It.
Yeah.
All right. So the Nameless are about to get even more terrifying in Phase 3. We did know that they were going to do experiments on Force Sensitive. Now we know that they are doing experiments on the Nameless, and so they are
lovely
checking them out and adding all this cybernetic tech and making them, more vicious.
That's how it's going to go wrong. That's how it's going to go wrong. Somebody's just going to put... Yeah, except for till the one fact that nobody ever says. Till somebody pulls a power cord on that and everything just shuts the bleep off. And then they're done. And that's what's going to happen here. R2-D2 is going to come fly. We're like, what? R2-D2 fly in, download something, and then all of a sudden all the Nameless shut off and one gets frozen. And that's the end of the Nameless. That's it. We're done.
If that's the end of this story, I'm going to be so bad.
We never found out how the Nameless ended up in the ice either, which was what we were supposed to find out of Phase 2. Did you notice that?
I still think we're going to find that out. I have some theories about that. I have a theory.
We should have found that out in 2, though. It would have made 2 more. I mean, 2 was kind of a letdown. And I think if they did that,
I love 2 more than 1, personally. We talked about this before.
That's because you have zero taste. But like, my point is, I mean, it was just 1 was really exciting, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cliffhangers. Some of them were supposed to be solved in 2. 2 just bridged us to nowhere at this point. And then it's like, okay, thank you.
Not true at all.
Well, that general, hey, okay, Wayseeker, you versus everybody else. I get it. But like,
no, Wookiee Fanatic like 2 better than 1, 2. There's other people in chat that liked it. You were not the only.
No, there's 2
like
people.
1 than 2. I agree with you.
That's not true. This is like you want to smell like cats. There's like 3 people that are like, yeah, cool. I care more about the cat than like, sure. But when you put it on scales of thing, no, people enjoyed. I mean, just look at the sales numbers. 1 better than 2. Go look at Reddit. 2. Go look at any metrics. Any metric at all, please.
I'm just saying, go look at Reddit is never a good way of judging anything.
It's pretty solid. Look at Reddit. Hey, Star Wars is pretty solid.
Look at Reddit.
You're in there talking all the time. I see your other handle in there. You literally post stuff every 3 minutes. Don't lie. Don't lie.
All right. I'm excited to see where this is going to go. We're going to talk a little bit more about phase 2 and how it relates to phase 3 when I do my little book report on the littles a little bit later. So we'll get into that. I'm super excited about that. Here is the Christmas gift of all Christmas gifts for the Santa haters out there. Santa Frozen and Carbonite ornament now available versus Tree Buddies for $15.
Yeah.
This is the best Star Wars ornament they've ever done right here.
That is hilarious.
It's good. I like it. I would assume you don't want this on your tree, but I think it's dope.
If I'm going to be all about Santa, I might as well
I was telling somebody the other day that I knew a guy that was a friend of mine in college that had a life-sized Han Solo Frozen in Carbonite.
Yeah.
In his game room. And the dude I was telling that to was like, I would want to make that my front door. And I was like, yes, it'd frighten the neighborhood.
It'd be kind of cool. So, Thad, to take this out of context, Wayseeker walks around and informs children that he believes that Santa Claus isn't real. Like small children.
Just my kid.
His daughter. No, but this is what he doesn't understand. If you tell your kid, that kid tells 5 other kids. So
that's not my problem.
Yeah, that happens.
So Wayseeker decides to be Grinch all the time by doing that. So yeah. All right.
Perfect.
This is cool, dude. I like this. This is really cool.
I like it. Yeah, $15.
That's a fascinating ornament. I will say that.
Yeah, $15 within my price point. I don't mind that one. So this week, somehow this game is chugging along. I don't know how it keeps chugging along. It's new developers, but the Old Republic MMORPG is getting a big update this week with a new update called Chains in the Dark. The preview trailer is out now. I don't play this game, but I do watch all the preview trailers.
I watch all the trailers. I watch all the cutscenes. I watch everything to this.
It's so good. And so these cutscenes are awesome too. So if you're a person that just watched the cutscenes and the trailers, they're already out on YouTube. So pick it up.
Are they? Cool.
They're good.
Looks like I might have to actually download this game again.
Yeah, I mean this is a time suck. Like you get lost in this thing for decades.
I was just telling a friend the other day, I actually used to play World of Warcraft quite a bit. And I made the mistake recently and re-downloaded it.
Bad decision. There's your whole life for
so now like you give me this panel right here and I'm going, maybe I should download Old Republic again.
No, you'll never go. I mean, you will.
The storyline is
not leaving your house for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay.
The storyline right now is revolving around the Vizslas, and so like the ancient Vizslas, and so
nice.
All about that. Learning more about that. That's what the storyline is centering around, and so.
Yep.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna. That. I think after the show, I'm going to be re-downloading this.
Well, we'll see you on the show in about 2 months when you're done. You can tell me.
No, more like a week and a half till I get bored.
And that is the week in Star Wars.
Oh, good Lord. Well, there's some trolling to Dom, but you didn't really get to troll him because he wasn't here. What's the second thing? You have another book report. You've got 2 book reports today, huh?
Let's get into yours next week. And then we'll get into that.
Next week first, and then you want to do the free comic book day?
Yeah, because that's
cool. So there, whatever came out. What came out this week? Whatever it is, I don't review.
Is it Obi-Wan or Mando? One of the two.
Whatever. I don't review that stuff, so we didn't. I just got rid of it completely. Yeah. So next week we've got, which is going to be a tough week. We've got Star Wars, but this is the good thing about Star Wars 41. This is the last DD crossover, thank the Lord. So then after that, we'll get that little Sith arc. Remember, we told you last couple of weeks about that Sith arc we're getting in with Star Wars. So that sounds kind of cool. At least we're going to get that out of it. Just a bunch of covers here.
Just a reminder here.
Dig the yellow saber. That's awesome.
This does spoil the rest of the series because this one's supposed to come out after. This is supposed to come out last. So if you don't want to know what's happening in the comics for the next couple of weeks, don't read this one.
Hey, spoiler alert! It's crap. Like the whole,
this
whole thing's been crap. So like, it's crap. Like I don't care. Yeah, and if you're gonna buy that cover, I know people like that cover because when we show it up, we'll see people really like that. But like, if you're gonna buy that cover, you aren't reading this book because like, you would just wait because you could get this in dollar fodder soon enough. This storyline, they really had a lot of opportunity in this storyline, and wow, this event was a massive.
Okay, so me taking a break on this comic is not a bad thing then. Okay.
No, but after this, pick it back up. I would pick it right back up after this.
I think 42 through 44 are going to be really good.
Yeah, 42 through 44 are going to be good. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, cool. And then next week, we get DJ. So you're supposed to read this one first. It's what if you've been collecting all those droid covers, I guess this is the coolest one, right? Like, yeah, we get a the last one where they had QTKT, it was the best, but like, I don't know why we're just getting like a worker droid.
This character was like hyped to be something cool and barely spent anything in the whole storyline.
Who, Ajax?
Yeah.
I like Ajax. Yeah, Ajax is did you know what that is? That's a Charles Soule callback from like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
For the droid Grata. And this is why I'm saying like Charles Soule he's fallen off a little bit, man. Because like this is what the callback was. This is what it was all worth because it was not good.
I think he's just doing tons of projects, and I think that's the hard thing. Like he's focusing.
Well, yeah, I think he's his own stuff, caring more about his own stuff than he's about the stuff. Was it 9 billion genies or whatever?
Yeah.
All right, and here you go. Now this is breaking news from Wayseeker. He got it from the source and friend of the show apparently. Jose Older. Let's go. Wayseeker, you gonna give us your breaking news?
Yeah. So this book was supposed to come out.
Wow. Wait, hold on. Let me do that again. Hey, breaking news. Wayseeker's not paying attention at all. He's picking his nose. Go ahead, Wayseeker.
So this book was supposed to come out on December 6th originally, this coming week. It got postponed a week, and now it's back on for next week. And so we will be seeing this one as a next week release, even though a lot of places still have it out on the 13th. Jose Older confirmed that it had already been shipped and lots of stores already have them. And so you should be able to pick them up. I like the B cover personally. I'm glad they have a B cover. That's the one I ordered.
I like the stylized cover with the two characters here. But then I like that kind of style of covers. So
yeah. I've been like the style that's on the B cover is a similar one that we've been getting on a lot of the B covers lately. We were getting it in phase 2. I enjoy it because the color on it's bright, but both these covers are dope.
I like the dynamic covers too, but like the A cover style is more like my preference. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for this one. This was my favorite comic of phase 1. I liked the Republic Adventure.
It was very good in phase 1.
High Republic one. I like Court. I like Zine. Yeah. These characters are the better characters in my opinion. So I'm really interested to see where they come back on. So we're going to be touching back on this in a second when we look at
this one. Bri, this one isn't. This is part of the like all of phase 2 was pretty much a spinoff. These are all like the main storyline continuation. So these are supposed to be kid books.
This starts phase 3, right?
Yeah. Well, it's sorry, but yeah. This starts phase 3 in Dark Horse.
Yep.
Yeah. But with that being said, it's supposed to be kids book, but it's more of the ilk of Jedi vs. Sith Dark Horse kids books than it is Disney and Friends kid books. Like it's not like there's a lot of maiming and killing and people stabbing each other in the back.
Well, and that's what I was telling y'all earlier. This aesthetic has that whole Dark Horse Jedi vs. Sith look from 20 years ago, and I like that aesthetic when it comes to Star Wars.
Jose has done a good job with the storytelling of it. He must have read a lot of that Dark Horse stuff because some of the better quality, like there's some junky Dark Horse stuff. Don't get me wrong, but some of the better quality, especially more the like. I mean, Jedi and Sith isn't technically a child's book, but how they drew it was more geared towards. I mean, it's literally the same type of style, right? So it follows younger kids. They come up through it and balancing between blowing hands off in every panel and which is what they used to do and keeping the story going on, but still have action. They do a good job in this. I can't say the same. I mean, the Maz story was okay. or not Maz, the Sav story was okay, but I think that needed to be maybe 2
Yeah,
issues,
it wasn't great.
Not a whole 8, but
yep, I agree with you there.
They do matter. This one in particular matters. This one does. Yes.
Yeah.
This matters, and the main storyline matters. If there's only 2 out of like 5 different books you get, make sure you get this one. Make sure you get the one that they've already started up, the main storyline that's got the connecting covers. We'll cover more of that later tomorrow. Bri, just so you know. All right, and then that would be it. That's it, because there's no FOC. So like, good luck with that. Yeah, FO nothing. Week.
It's been a couple weeks for Star Wars, and so
yeah,
that's all right. So because we didn't have any new comics this week, Marco tasked me to read a comic that he wasn't able to read himself because he doesn't know.
That's not true. I said scan it in. I didn't want to scan it in because
I did scan it in. And so we're going to be looking at the free comic book day from the High Republic Adventures because this one was a brand new story that was took place right at the end of phase 1 with the Starlight Beacon, so that we now know what happened to some of these characters, so that we're prepared for the story that picks up next week in phase 3. So
I'll give it a try, Frankie. This, by the way, Wayseeker, I did read this. I just forgot I read it because it wasn't that poignant. But Wayseeker thinks this is the greatest comic book that's come out in 5 years. Just want to preface it there.
It's not true.
All right, everybody got your notebooks. Let's start it up. He's going to give us a book report. Here we go.
No. So what that happens is if you remember, they are on Starlight Beacon as Starlight Beacon is going down, facing off in the Nameless. Everyone is here from the crew except for Zine. Zine is elsewhere. So it's Lula, Buckets of Blood.
Yeah.
And, Court.
So the Orin was like the traitor person that came back, and Court.
What's his name? I forget. Taz.
Beast Boy's in the back there.
Beast Boy, whatever I forget his name is.
Does he look like Beast Boy? He looks like Beast Boy there.
Bunch of other people that you don't care about. They're all on Starlight as it is going down with the Nameless. And so in this comic book, basically what happens is some of the characters.
Oh, this is in May, John. This was a while ago. This was not. Yeah, this was
May. This is free comic book day. Some of the characters are going to protect the Littles, so they can be safe and get off, while some of the characters are going to take out the Nihil that are on Starlight before it crashes. And so Lula goes and volunteers to take out as many of the Nihil as she can, while others are protecting the kids. And so you can see the hugging, the embracing. They know this might be it. Lula's determined. Nothing's going to get in her way. She's going after the Nameless and the Nihil. And there will be vengeance abound. And so as you see here, while the Littles are out there and some of the people are guiding them, they run into the Nameless. So you get the Shakarai and the Shakri and all those great things eating up some of the Jedi. And so a number of the Jedi get sucked and become dust. Court doesn't. He's able to save himself and, defend and hurt one of the Nameless in the process. But he does get pretty hurt, while a couple of the other little kids do die. So if if you're Dom and you all about the kids dying, you got plenty of kids dying in this book. And meanwhile, Bucket of Bloods gets the idea to save the youth. They're going to have to take off their Jedi robes. Bucket of Bloods loves to take off of his clothes. He takes off his clothes. All the other young people take off their clothes so that people don't know that they're Jedi, and so the Nihil won't get them. And so they do this. And in the process, we see Lula track down our favorite Crix. If you remember, Crix was Zine's best friend, who blames Lula and the Jedi for turning Zine against them. And so you get this nice little battle scene you get this crazy looking Crix going against this Lula. And Crix is like, you can't stop me. There's nothing you can do. I'm going to get away. You're going to go protect everybody. That's what you Jedi do. You're so predictable. And Lula says, no, I'm going to go down dying. You're going down with me. And so she just chokes and makes sure that Crix can't go anywhere while Starlight blows up. And so this book appears to end with Lula dying and Crix dying. And you get this nice little memory of Lula and Zine, best friends and lovers, while they explode and Lula meets what we believe to be her end. And so,
like
what
I
a kid
said,
book, right?
This story ended bleak.
Yeah, this is a great free comic book day story, for little kids.
For little kids.
Yeah, all the young people do take off their clothes as well. That's not what I meant. They changed their clothes, but yes, that is technically what I said.
Oh no!
Wait a minute. Does this book say "deek deek 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 deek" in it?
Yes, it says "deek deek deek."
That thing's blowing up, and it goes. Lula was crazy here. I thought that,
yeah,
her ability to
Wait, I left for 1 minute. You told all the young people to take off their clothes.
Bucket of Blood told the young people to take off their clothes. That's what Bucket of Blood did here. He's like,
that guy's a menace, bro. Yeah, you're right. He is a menace, dude. You need to do something with that guy.
Okay, so Lula here to me, right before it shows them going down, her and Crix, it's almost to me like she's fallen. It's almost to me like she's fallen to the dark side because she's strangling him with the Force.
Yeah, he's strangling with the Force so that he dies when she dies when they blow up. And so I will be shocked given this that if Lula's alive. I know they don't like to kill people in Star Wars, but I think Daniel Jose killed Lula and Crix, and that's where the story is going next. And we'll see, how they cope without their leader.
Cohiba in the chat ended with touching and dying.
or she's going to end up turning into the dark side, and she's going to be a Sith Lord apprentice. And if she does that, then we know 100% he loves the Dark Horse books, and Jedi vs. Sith is his favorite.
But yeah.
Deek, deek.
To be honest with you, I'm more of a I lean more towards the Sith myself than the Jedi, but
yeah. This was actually, I think it was a good story because it was not what I expected when Free Comic Books Day kid story. This was totally outside.
Dude, that's what I'm telling you. This is about as kid of a story as Jedi vs. Sith.
This is not a kid's book. What are they? This is great.
So. Yeah, what that one panel where the where Zana crushes somebody's body in Jedi vs. Sith with the Force.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Same type of thing right here. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you.
This is very, very Jedi.
Everybody except for Boba Fett. People die except for Boba Fett.
That's right. I also got asked or decided to include on this. We've gotten 2 High Republic short stories.
Nobody asked in this. Don't let them lie to you. Nobody asked in this. Nobody asked for it. Not one person ever asked for this.
AJ asked for it.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, nobody asked.
We did content this week. So the last 2 insiders, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but you have 2 High Republic stories from Phase 3 that take place in the Inclusion Zone. You do have the High Republic covers on the subscriber covers. If you wanted to know what the hell these were, these are the main characters. The characters in this story is Josh, Adrian, and Pika Adrian. They've been in Light of the Jedi. They've been in a bunch of the other books. They're kind of people who help out the Jedi for money. And would help them out. Everybody asked for it. And so basically this story is this couple gets sent out to the edge of the Inclusion Zone right when the Inclusion Zone expands. And so they find themselves unknowingly on the other side of the Inclusion Zone.
For those people that don't know what the Inclusion Zone is, it's the thing that deny all the bad guys keep expanding.
Yeah.
Taking over territory.
Bad guys have this little area that's blocked off.
They call it Inclusion
and a big wall that you can't, get in or out, and they have all control of it. So they find themselves on the other side of the Inclusion Zone. Spoiler alert, Pika's pregnant. She's all worried about how she's going to get home in time and what she's going to do to have a baby. And they find and encounter some Nihil on the other side of the Inclusion Zone.
Who wrote the stories?
Basically, they are Jedi escorts. Yep. That's right. They were there during Hetzel when the Jedi were trying to move.
I don't think that's what Frankie's saying. I don't think that's what Frankie's saying.
I know it's not what he's saying, but I'm just gonna roll with it. And so they find themselves and they encounter some Nihil on the other side of the occlusion zone, and so that is the short story.
Did we say who wrote this?
This is Lydia Kang. She wrote.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She wrote actually a pretty good book from Phase 2.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she's a good writer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I always enjoy these short little stories. It's only 4 pages. This is not to me as good as the Twinkle Sisters. I'd much rather have another story about the Twinkle Sisters than Josh and Pete.
That's part of Phase 2, Twinkle Sisters.
But I need more Twinkle Sisters. I hope we find some Twinkle Sisters in Phase 3.
That bar, you could have so many great stories coming out of that bar.
Yeah, you can.
With the Twinkle Sisters.
I know.
Just so many.
That was like the highlight of Phase 2. That was great characters.
That's okay. You just said it. Oh, good Lord. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay.
The Twinkle Sisters do rock.
Yeah, they do.
All right. And so since we were talking about the High Republic adventures, before we get into our main segment coming up here, I wanted to talk a little bit about how Phase 2 relates to Phase 3 and do another little book report thing here. And what I'm calling the High Republic Adventures, I have a little subtitle for it. I'm calling it The Story About the Little...
Oh, the story that nobody but Wayseeker cares about and asks for. This is what, to me, the real story is. It's the story of those that Marta Rowe took care of when she was an innocent person before she became all crazy and corrupt. No, she was never innocent. She was always crazy. The crazy was in her. Yes, she was.
No. There was a time, though, with Kevmo where she was innocent, and we thought that maybe she was going to be enlightened.
No. No. That's not what happened, Wayseeker. Just like you, the crazy was buried for a little bit, and then like Santa Claus coming to your house, and boom, crazy town.
Come on,
that was her. No. It was absolutely.
It was Kevmo's
no. She was Wayseeker. You married your grade school girlfriend. I'm telling you, if you deal with enough people, eventually you see this. What happens? You're like, oh, they seem all right, but they have the craziness.
2 of us cared about it. 2 of us. Go.
Well, 2, okay, but then Crazy Town was buried deep. She literally, she's like, oh my God, there's one boy who's my age. She instantaneously falls in love. Tell me this isn't crazy. There's one person. The first person she sees,
somebody that's never met anybody before, and they meet somebody new and they just fall in love because it's something exotic and foreign.
That's already Crazy Town. What you just said there is the leadership to Crazy Town. So she does that and then instantaneously sells the dude down the river and goes full on Basic Instinct crazy.
All right.
I'm gonna have to agree with Marco here.
Yeah, you have. There's no argument.
Everybody always agrees with Marco.
That's because that's what happened.
That's not true.
That is 100% what happened. Read the book.
And I've actually seen relationships like that in real life. You know, she seems normal until, but then I've seen it go the other way too. So,
I know some dudes that are weird like that. Real weird like that.
Like, yeah, you can't get crazier than Marta turns out to be. But what I want to talk about is how it really does seem like the story is talking about the future of the High Republic revolves around the littles that Marta took care of. And so really, I think this comic is going to revolve around 3 people, and they all have connection to the littles. The first one is Tromac. Tromac played a big part in High Republic Adventures at the beginning part of High Republic Adventures, found himself in 1 through 3 and 5. He was part of the council.
The whiny dude. He was a whiny dude who got bitch slapped. Let's be honest with
you. And the Elders of the Path are the people that broke away from the Nihil. And he went off with Yoda, we know, to find the staffs to control the Nameless. I think we're going to see more Tromac, but Tromac was one of the kids that Marta took care of, and Kevmo actually was part of saving when they were in the caves. So that was one of the littles that we've already seen coming up. Another one of the littles that we know is going to play a huge role in Phase 3, and I believe is going to play a huge role in High Republic Adventures, is Bulin. Bulin is the scientist that does all the experiments on the Force sensitives and on the Nameless. You can control them and make them even more evil.
Wait, so he was one of the littles?
Into the Jedi hung with. He was one of the littles.
That's what I'm telling you. She was so crazy. She just had crazy people hanging out with her. Like that's how you
had crazy people hanging out with her. The mother is the one that turned Bulin crazy because the mother was the one that said, "Here, go plant bombs in our caves to blow everything up." And so he was the one that if you remember in the Battle of Dalna.
She was okay with it. She's down.
In the Battle of Dalna, the mother sent out this little kid to plant explosives to kill everybody.
Jealous of her cousin. Sends little kids to blow shit up.
That was
You're telling me she wasn't crazy?
Marta doesn't. And so
Marta helps him out.
Marta stops her. Marta stops Bulin because says it wasn't the Jedi who killed your dad. It was the mother who killed your dad because Bulin's dad was killed on Planet X. And so the mother gave him a false story about his dad's death. So he was planting all the explosives. So this guy, Marta tried to save, didn't save because he was just already too crazy from the mother. And he becomes Marchion Rose.
He was like 4. Who do you blame? The person from 1 through 4 or the person who takes them through their teenage years and turns them into a psychopathic doctor that operates on people?
I don't know who tried this one, but Marta tried to save this guy.
No, she just wanted him to be a psychopath doctor. That's it.
I don't think that's true. We'll find out.
Agreed.
We'll find out. But anyway, that's another one of Marta's littles who will play a big part. And here's the other one. Here's the one I didn't think about until I started doing some work on the littles because I was bored one day. This is nothing better than my time. Zine. Zine wasn't a little, but I am almost positive that her mother or grandmother was. So she was raised in the Elders of the Path, and I believe that she's either the daughter or the granddaughter of one of Marta's littles, Utaller. Utaller, if you remember, she was a Mikian during the Battle of Dalna, who was part of the Path that was actually attacked by a nameless.
Hold on. I'm trying to take notes about this book report, but I fell a little bit behind. Let me take a couple more notes. Alder, one of Little's Zine. Okay, cool. All right, go ahead. Continue, please.
So she was part of the Path. This little who was actually force sensitive. She was Mikian. And was attacked by the Nameless and was actually saved by Marta in Dalna because she was hiding and suppressing her force sensitivity to be part of the Path and was saved. And so that is exactly the same story as Zine. So I believe we're going to find out, or maybe they just will let us know, that Zine is actually belongs to the descendants of one of the Littles. And so this is the story of the Littles and how they go on and how they morph. And so you have Zine, you have Bulin, you have Tromac. I think we're going to get Tromac and Bulin at the center fighting against one another because they were kids in the same, cult together and took different paths. We'll see if I'm right or not, but it all revolves around Marta's Littles.
Real quickly, if you're playing the drinking game and Littles was the key word, you are now completely hammered and drunk. Because I think
and possibly dying of alcohol poisoning.
Holy Littles. That was a lot of Littles. I mean, that bowling character, obviously it's an intriguing character. I just wonder who they have on staff that would write that.
By the way, I'm not real clear with the whole High Republic story because I haven't really been paying all that much attention. I'm working on it, okay, for the future.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of insane people taking care of Jedi small younglings.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole bunch of crazies. But then again, when you look at the other side and you got buckets of blood there, like stripping down to a loincloth saying, let's get it on! Like, take off your clothes! It's not like the Jedi had exactly mentally stable people taking care of the kids either, dude. Like, they did
buckets of blood. That's his nickname.
Buckets of blood! And he yells all the time, there's a blood! Take off your clothes! Like, what the heck is going on here? But yeah, I mean, like... especially the new era, how they're writing in, like, these fascist-type characters, like Bulin, like, I'm intrigued to see if they're actually going to try to give a backstory to that to see to the point, like combine all the types of craziness to them, because like they could go south real quickly. They could do a really bad job of it. And then, like, put too much stereotypes of stuff and things like that. I mean,
it sounds like there's a lot of like nuance to this story, and I'm looking forward to like looking into it deeper than I have. But wow.
Somebody who you talked about backstage, you really are interested in the Force and things like that.
Yeah.
Phase 2 was really fascinating because it had like 7 different Force groups. This is a time
was not, but they didn't really get into them, and it wasn't that exciting.
But you kind of get a little bit of the history of some of these Force groups, who we heard about in the EU and other things, and they kind of got brought up. And we get a little.
That was that you like the Witches of Thud or whatever? That was your group that you really wanted to know about.
Sorcerers of Tund.
Yeah, Sources of Tund.
And then they didn't do anything about others. They needed to expand it more. They kind of rushed that phase, but you at least get snippets of all those different Force groups.
I noticed But that Yoda was mentioned a couple of times there. Is he like half insane like the rest of these people?
Well, kind of though. He goes up against the craziest dude.
He is. Yeah, he's friends with this like evil, like Sithish character who was a Jedi that like got attacked by a nameless and then like purged himself of his eyes and turned to the dark side so that he could live forever. And so Yoda is working with this crazy dark force user.
I wonder if they're going to link that somewhat to the fact that later on Yoda like has a lot of like concerns for himself falling to the dark side. That'd be interesting.
I think that might be why he doesn't ever trust the dark side again.
Well, I think there's a couple because there's the Dooku thing. There's who's the guy that saw and they never got into it. Actually, it seems like a lot of the character that they took off for what's the blind guy's name again? Wayseeker.
What? Aslan?
Stop looking at the comments of everybody making fun of you. Yeah, that guy. There was the character that Dooku was best friends with growing up, and he could see the he could see the future, sometimes different types of future, and actually start going to the library and start turning dark side. Yeah. And it seems like that type of like characteristics, because they never got too far into them. That's what they're talking for this Ian the blind dude. And it seems like they're going like full, like when he grew up, they never tell you because it was one of the lost, he's like one of the lost ones. They never tell you his full story, but it looks like this story could project right into there. Once again, that was like also, I think, a Soul thing that he lost track of. I just think like I think Soul like is kind of getting to be the Martin, the George Martin of the thing where he's going too far and then losing these like tree limbs out into the deep.
Do you guys remember the old Tales novels? Like, Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales of, that. Sure. I would love somebody to write a book, Tales of the Lost 20, and do like short stories on the Lost 20.
Agreed.
That would be an interesting concept.
I don't think we can do that because I do think the Lost 20 is their plan. That's like the High Republic's key.
I do. Yeah, I think that's it.
I mean, the story of Kiwi is the High Republic. Really.
She is. Yeah, she's like the last Lost. Well, technically, she's not the last Lost 20 because the guy I just mentioned was the Lost 20, and that was before Dooku. And then Dooku was the last Lost 20. So there's like between Kiwi and Dooku, there's probably like 5 of the Lost 20 there.
Yeah.
And I think we know that there's like 3 other Lost 20 previous to this, or a couple of them. And I think they just start making some Wayseekers in there. So then, like, there you get your Lost 20.
But they're going to tell the stories of the Lost 20 by like spreading it out. They don't want to give those short stories because they want to do these long,
But how far back? I don't think they can go that far back with the Lost 20. I think the Lost 20 has to be from like High Republic on, right?
No, they said there was a couple in the Old Republic.
A couple. But like, that's what I'm saying. That's a couple. But then for like 500 years. Like if it's a couple, that's like 2. That's why I said 3. 2. Right. I'm giving them 1 extra. I'm giving them a floater because they always screw stuff up. So they got 3. But then out of that 3, you got 20. So 3 there. The modern era, the Skywalker era, you get Dooku. What's his name? I keep forgetting that dude's name.
I can't think of his name. All right.
Then so that's 2 there. So we know where it ends. So you get 3 in the front. That's 5. There's 15 more. We know Kiwi's one. But in a 500-year period, we're going to get I mean,
Cantham Sai could be one because that he walked away. I mean, there's people we've already met that could be there.
Yeah. Barash took the vow. I mean,
technically, she was never a master.
Oh yeah, fair.
She never got that far.
Well, not Matt. She just had to be. Did she have to be a master?
She had to be a master to be part of the Lost 20. That was part of why Anakin was never part of the Lost 20.
So then we don't lose the guy that was with. Then we don't. That's not correct about Dooku's friend because he.
But there's more out there. But I think there's couple from the Old Republic. They said there's quite a few from the High Republic era. There'll be 1 or 2 between the 2, and that's fine.
Anytime a good Jedi went to the library and learned, that's probably about it.
Yeah. So,
if we had a book report, we might as well have math homework. I mean, like, what are we going to do?
Kingdom of Nerds just says he's dropping the class, so can't help you.
Can't help people who just fail out.
You don't want me to read for you and predict the future, then find yourself.
Yeah, listen, Dom's only right 0.81% of the time. Wayseeker's right 12% of the time. So there you go. I mean,
I'm right a lot more than Dom. So
that is a lot more than Dom. That's a lot more than Dom.
Yeah. But
don't worry though.
I still am wrong quite a bit. I agree.
But he's right. He will tell you all week long, and then for the preceding week too. So you'll get 2 full weeks of Wayseeker telling you that he's right, and then like come back to it a month later. Remember that time I was right? Like, no, I don't. Like, but I bet you were.
I'm gonna be right about the movie, and you're gonna owe me $1. It's okay.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, they've been so right on about the movie so far. All right, is that all the junk we have? We've got now we can get to the 1 in 100, the stuff that people come for to see what our value.
You think you're more important than my book?
No, absolutely not. I just think people like to see comic books and how much they cost. That's what I have learned at this point. Believe me, because I would have put this together if not. Holy heck, I lost it though. I gotta bring it up. Okay, hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, but just as an aside to what we were talking about there, like I've always been interested in the stories of the Lost 20, so their motivations for leaving, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, you're right. They are his theories.
Oh, true.
Dom is all true. No, so Dom's
crush and
he just all the theories that he goes like, and then he doesn't think like we'll figure it out. So like, but you're like, that's word for word what they said on Screen Crush, bro. That's what they said.
Yeah.
I came up with that myself. Oh, okay. All right. Anyway,
they stole it from me. I had it first.
Yeah, right. I was thinking I was gonna have it first. So
I will say this, guys. Any opinions that you ever hear out of me are my own opinions. I don't read anybody else's opinions, so
don't worry. It doesn't matter if you do that because I don't watch anybody else's stuff. As I know, like I didn't even know who you were. Like I don't do it, but then people will always accuse you of doing it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, usually.
All right. Well, we were holding off for Don for maybe some type of news, but hopefully he's okay because I know he was running late, but he's running really late.
Yeah, we hope he's okay.
Yep. All right. So here we go. What we decided to do was we've had actually somebody who's a friend of the show, somebody who's actually helped us in the background before. She reached out to us. She reached out to me, and people have done this before. They've asked me a question on a book and think if it was the right price or whatever. And if I get the message, I shoot it back real quickly. Yes, if it's timely or whatever, or no, or why are you buying that garbage? But we got one, and that's a thought process of like, we go through all the lows of how bad some of the books are, but like, let's look at some of the process through the 1 in 100s and see where they actually are and what might be a good time. This actually happened to be the book that she asked about. This was Star Wars High Republic, Volume 3, Number 1, the 1 in 100. This is the connecting cover. Remember, they made one with a trade dress, and they made another one with a connecting cover. There's only about 6 covers to this. No, there wasn't. There was 5, right? The out the gate, so pre-ordering. There's one sale kind of like the day before that happened to be $275. It's a little bit too early to verify the fallout. So I put a question mark to it, but like that's where it started off at. The average sale for this, since it came out, is $146.21. The low is $88.78. And just to be honest, I think if we didn't, the next low was like similar, but just in a different, it was currency? A different purchasing power. Yeah. Currency purchasing power. So if it wasn't that one, that was the book that this person asked me about at that price. It was pretty similar to that price as I recall. So they got a good one, but those two kind of really slagged down the sales. Most of them were kind of in that 125, 150 range. So it was good. Right now there's one available for $119. I think it's kind of trending down, but I think like if you can get in the 88, especially considering it's a 1 and connecting, that probably is the place. Remember, this did come out November 8th. 2023. I mean, to be honest with you, 119, 120 a month later for 1 in 100, that's not bad. If you can get it for, I don't think it's going to go down as far as some of these other ones we'll see in a little bit.
I think, I agree because it's a connecting cover.
It is. He's connecting.
There are people who are going to collect it and
just dresses too,
just because they want the connecting cover. There are people out there just love. I get that there's other connecting covers for the traders. The connecting cover, especially people that's what they collect. They're going to pick up the 1 in 100s because they do look cool. And there are some other, some of these connecting covers we talked about later that look really, really cool. And so
it does. But I moved everything to USD, by the way, sticks.
So
and then
that is quite nice art right there.
It is. This connecting cover run is really dope. We'll look at something later that will have something to combine with this. That also had something to do with the price. I do think at the 88, because I don't actually think that's what it is. I think the person paid in the hundreds for it because of the currency exchange. But I'm just saying, like, I think it was a good price. I mean, 88 or 100, whatever you're doing, if you can get it for that 100, it's going to be there for a while. And by the way, the longer it sits there, the more messed up somebody's going to thumb through it, and everything else is going to get buried on the pile. So you have a lesser chance of getting it in that. If you're trying to get it in near mint for the connection, you're going to get a lesser chance of getting near mint. So I don't see it sitting around that much. And there wasn't a ton of these up up for it. I don't know if there was any store variants offhand. I didn't see any. You know that increases the amount of 1/100s there is anyways. So that might be a deciding factor. You'll see that a little bit later when we get into some of these too. This is the second issue, has Laura D on it.
Looks so good.
Yeah, you'll see that later. All right, spoiler alert. Okay, there was a run. Speaking of Soul, because Brown did a lot of these 1/100s. We had Star Wars: Return of the Jedi Palace. Now, what I'm going to say is I'm not going to show you the Max Rebo book, but the Max Rebo book that I said I'm going to wait till drop has now dropped to like $12. So if you want that Max Rebo 1/100 and you listen to us, you're great.
Marco, he's like, what I want is $12.
Yeah, no, I don't well, everybody's like, you, like Doc could go like, you bought it, right? You had to get it. It was $120. I go, no, watch, I'll get it cheaper. He's like, there's no way. It's like 12 selling for $12.
You didn't think it was going down to 12 though.
No, I thought it was gonna be around 20 to 30. It's down to 12. Yeah. So this is March 29, 2023. So not that long, almost a year ago. Excuse me. I couldn't get the actual ratio price, but if I remember off the top of my head, this was in the one. It was coming out the gates in the like a little bit over the 145 range, 135 range at the time.
That's right.
Yep. But now over the last 3 months, and there was a bunch of these books that sold, it's down to $45 on average. There's a low of 25. Now this low was a real low. It really is looking in the $50 range for this, $35 to $55, like somewhere in that range. If you want these Brown books, yeah. I mean, I think these, but when you look at this book, like the difference between this book and the previous one that might hold a little bit of weight too. While I was doing these, I noticed this. One, no, the art's really good in this. And two, it connects. And three, there's something to do. This was a one shot, pretty much, that doesn't have anything to do with much.
And they were bad stories.
Yeah, the stories wasn't.
They just weren't very good.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Jabba doesn't. I mean, okay. So this is just me, but there's something off about this cover.
By the way, I like Jason Brown. Great human being, great artist, does good stuff. I just putting that out there, just so you know. But
well, and yeah, there's some other stuff that I've seen that it was really good, but like I don't know, there's just something off with like the scale on Jabba in this picture.
Yeah. Well, I will also say this about this book, and both of them are this. There's a trade dress version of this, and there's the version of this. But when everybody's always like, "Oh, books sell just because of the cover," sometimes they do in scarcity, but like sometimes the insides have something to do with it too, because that creates a shorthandedness, which you saw. Like the story inside of the story inside of High Republic 1 was actually pretty darn good. So like people are going to go out there and start buying that book anyways. That Max Rebo was, I'm not going to say anything about this. Okay, this was a big book. Dom told me, unfortunately he's not here, put it on here, so this is the greatest book of all time. This is only September 27th when this book came out. Out the gate, it was 200 plus, somewhere around there for a couple books. There was an auction. It just ended. We're going to talk about that. September. So this is the average. There's been a bunch of these books selling. In September, 145. There's a couple books that was the average. October's average was 162.22. There's like 3 or 4 books that started hiking up in there. Not a ton sold, but the hike price started to go, which was kind of interesting. Then back in November, after October, it kind of started to trickle back down. It wasn't that much below 134. One underlining sale, still over $100 on that. Looked pretty strong until today. An auction just ended as we started the show. That's why we were 2 minutes late. We were watching the auction. It has 8 bids on it. It had 7 for $72. It ended with 8 bids for $86 for this book, which would lower that average just a bit because there's still some pretty good 145 sales in there, but it's getting closer now to the under ratio of 100. Which once again, I don't see. I mean, that was an auction. If you see this like after about the 2 to 3 month period, when the 3 month period comes, you start to see a lot more of these auctions pop up. Now, some of them do minimum auctions where it'll be like $75 minimum bid, $50 minimum bid. But like after the 3 month period, right around that time, you start to see like just bid auctions. Right. And that's where the price kind of drops. This luckily had a minimum bid, I think, on it. So to see it at 86 still means that's a pretty decent book. Not as bad as probably Max Rebo and it's $12. But if you're holding off for this, it's getting to the time where you're going to have to pick up good copies before you start getting into the crappy copies, just so you know.
I'll also say this one did have store variants. to it. There was the black and white store variant that Trinity did, and so this one had a few more than some of the other ones because those store variants
probably hurt it.
3,000 copies for those store variants. So that's 30 10100s that store had.
But this isn't going to be the Jabba. This isn't going to be the Jabba or Max Rebo effect, right? We're not seeing these books for $25 and $12.
No, I don't. I think you could see this thing. I think this one can go to 50 to 60. I really do.
You pull a 60 out of there. I don't. Not a lot. Not multiples. Averaging probably 75, right?
Yeah, I think that's
60,
fair.
65, 75, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah, 100%.
Actually, I really like this cover. It's got an interesting aesthetic.
So here's the interesting part about it. There are a couple of these signature series ones already done, which took them off the market because they're getting them signed by I don't know who the hell you're getting signed. I can't read this.
Rosario, probably.
Maybe. Who gives a shit? But they're getting. I mean, I know people.
I hope it's not just like I don't want just. I mean, it's
no, it wasn't just signature.
You don't want just on this one.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a big Sig guy, so I don't care that much about him. But it was definitely like a. I'm wondering if it was Ashley. It couldn't have been. I think it was because I've seen the Sig before. Yeah, good. I'm glad you didn't too, T. Jones. But now might be the time. What I'm saying is this book right now. Now's the time to start looking at it, because even though they had more copies of this, and that's where the difference comes in with the exclusives. Like sometimes the exclusive makes a little bit of a difference. There's one book we're going to show you where like the exclusives killed. I mean, just fucking murdered the book. But this one still I think is like a heater. When you start seeing people like, and by heater I'm not saying like $200-300. I'm saying like it's not going to fall to the Max Rebo $12.99 or best offer pile. All right, this book. Now this is an interesting book because a weird sale showed up about it. OTG plus 200. So I just put plus 200 because there's another book that was similar around the price out the gate for that. It had a little spike. There looked maybe there was some funny business a couple weeks leading up to this book, so I'm not going to include that type of stuff. But this book has kind of fell a little bit. Once again, this is another one of those one shots. And by the way, of these one shots that I'm showing you from the Browns, these are the better performing one shots. Like you get into the ones where it was once again Rebo, but there was another one.
Akbar kind of pretty low too. It's like
Akbar, I think you could get for cover price.
I think it's like
these one shots were
I think it's like averaging at like $15 for the actual.
No, I think if I am correct, because I looked at a lot of 1-100s, I'm thinking there was one that sold because this book wasn't originally like a $7 book because it was a one shot.
It was $6, yeah, $6.99.
Okay, well, I think there's one that sold for like $7.35 or something.
Wow.
So
yeah.
All right. Anyways, this is a Stormtrooper book. This is a book that maybe some people that are not here on the show today, but were on the show, were telling us how it was going to have great value. Unfortunately,
wait. I think they.
Hey, he's here.
There he is. He came on.
Perfect. Hey, Dom, you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I had to work, man.
No, I hear you.
My wife came and picked me up, and we got caught in traffic. So,
is that what you're calling it nowadays? Getting caught in traffic? Okay,
I hear you. Know what that means.
Yeah, we know what that means.
We know what that means.
I got kids. I know what that means, buddy.
No, we got caught in traffic.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. He's in New York. They don't drive. They take the subway. There's no way to get caught in traffic.
My wife picked me up in a rent-a-car. She got a zip car and got me.
Taking the trains. That's what they call it, zip cars. Huh? All right. So here we go. Return of the Jedi #1, another brown cover. This was part of that segment. Average for the last 3 months, 86.55. Now that's on there, but the low of 50 in there, right? There is some higher asking price of this in the $100 range if you really wanted it. A couple graded. Not a terrible book. If you really love this book and the troopers on it, I think kind of that sub $50 range is where you're going to be looking. Because it was also an expensive book to get the whole thing. Hey, Dom Vito's here. Yep.
No, I actually like this cover.
Yeah, I know. You told me this is going to be a $200 book forever.
At one time, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Well, the market.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We got it. Yeah. All right. So that was in June, by the way.
One of the better covers. It's just like
it was one of the better brown covers. This is probably the best of the brown covers.
Yeah, I give you that much.
This is probably the best of the brown covers. All right. Next up, book that Dom also told me to look at. Now, remember, we're just having to put the time limits on this too. So this is August 30th. I put the dates on all these so that we can see like the month, how far out we are. You know what I mean? like 3 months pretty much on this one too, so we can see where it's going at. We can see what the actual, like maybe when the time to buy is, which seems like the opportune time is about 3 months to buy any of these 1 in 100 stuff, which is nice. I mean, some of the other ones, it was like a month later, 3 weeks later, but some of these hotter ones, like the Ahsoka one we already showed you, and this one is gonna be like 3 months. You're gonna have to wait to try to find some of these books. So most sales were between 140 and 150. There was one low that came out. I think they auctioned it. It was 107.50. It was more recent. It really dragged down the average of what this book was going for, because there's like a lot of 170s, mainly a lot of 140s and 150s. Now there are 2 available, one for 120 and 129. But if you guys buy those right now, or if they've been bought by the time we show this, which sometimes we know what you guys do. You guys leave, buy the book, and then come back. And then like, why isn't there a book for 120? Well, because one of you bought it. That's why there's not a book for 120. But
it's like Dom. Let's be clear. It's Dom who buys the book, so we say.
No,
so like Dom's on the other side.
No, actually,
got it.
I didn't buy this book. I didn't buy this book, but I'm waiting for it to get graded. I'm gonna get a graded one. You'll probably get a graded one for $150.
I haven't. Well, it's already been 3 months. I haven't seen.
I don't think you're gonna get a graded one for 150.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a graded one for like 270.
No. So I should have probably showed the graded price. Like even on the graded price that they're asking for, a lot of these aren't getting graded. They're just not grading them. They're not, because they're not selling like they were a year ago. Like a year ago, they could grade anything and sell it to you. Now, what's the point of putting something in if you're going to have to hold on to it, because you've sunk not only the amount to the. Remember, these 1 in 100s now. A year ago, these 1 in 100s were not costing retailers / whatever you want to call them. They weren't costing them as much. They're costing them about $35 to $40 less. And grading fees was about $10 less. Now, because you pre-screen whatever, every way you want to mix it on how much grading fees are going to cost you now. But now you're putting about $50 more into this. So, Dom, I'm not sure how many of these books you're really going to see, because as a person, like right here at $150, I'm telling you, the retailer is not making a profit. They're not making a profit off this book. So if you grade it, like that, it's just not, like you're just not at $150. You're not making a profit. So here we go. The low is 107.50. Maybe that's your best bet, is snagging that and trying to do it for 30, and then get it for 140. Dom. I mean, it probably is. You're gonna have to start
maybe buy one for 129 and just friggin' get it pressed. If it's gotta get it 9.8.
Yeah, you probably should. There's still some good copies out there. Not as many selling. There's a lot of other copies that they are asking more. I'm not going to lie. A lot of 179.99s out there and stuff like that. But do know this is like also into the 3rd month. So in the next couple of weeks, you should see a couple of these going. If they follow the trends of the other books, a couple of these going up for auction. And then if you have something like the Ahsoka book that just went for 70, what was it? What did the Ahsoka book just go for?
You said that
86.
86. Yeah. You know, that one down sale is going to either scare people or try to get them to get off the pot and get rid of them. So we'll see.
I don't know. You think there's going to be one more bounty hunter, 1 in 100s by the time the series ends?
Hopefully not.
It could be for 42. I don't know. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it for the last issue.
Yeah, you're going to do it for the last issue.
Yeah.
I hope.
All right. Woo! Next up was this heater.
Jedi's favorite. Where's Jedi when you
this heater? Out the gate, a whopping 125 plus. I think it was 137, somewhere around there was the height. It is now averaging 91 if people are willing to buy this book.
Who's buying it? That is crazy. Should be Akbar prices.
If that was Nubs, you'd be buying it yourself.
Sure, I'd be the only one though. I
think this made some list or something like that, and that way people think, because while I was looking at the prices for us, it was not, the asking prices were not reflecting the selling prices. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, that is far too close to get to an Ewok.
But I like it. I mean, sub 50. I like this book sub 50, but this was in April. Like, this is April, all right. But, you know, this is what we say sometimes. Sometimes when people remember, and this is where we're going back to that first book, the High Republic book, with the 1 in 100, how low could it possibly go? People are going to remember that connecting cover. They're going to remember every month a new connecting cover comes out. They're going to remember every time they see it, because it's going to get ingrained in their head. You know what I mean? And it's been.
That's exactly right. That is why Marco likes this book. Marco likes it because he doesn't know how to read. That's right. There's no words in this book, pretty much.
I didn't say inside of the book. I actually like the Burning Psycho Ewok. I think it's good.
Hey, do you think
if there's 4 of those versus 1 Chewie, they win all day. That Ewok right there, 4 of them, 1 Chewie, only ears.
No way.
Win. Absolutely.
I actually think Nubs is a relative of the Ewoks.
No, he's not.
I got a feeling.
No, I would pay $12 for this. That's as high as I'm going. If I
pay $25.
If it's 12.01, I'm out. I'm not paying $12.01.
I'd like to point out that the Ewoks ate what was left of the stormtroopers.
That's true.
Agreed.
Hey,
Agreed.
How did Leia get that dress at the end of Return of the Jedi? Who had that dress? Think about that.
I have not been drinking. I think if you give me 40 Chewbacca, you can say Wookiee, you can say what you want. Brian J. Where's Brian J? Where's Frankie? They were the guys that were in the big talk about. They had all the plans. Tell me, for these Ewoks, they're winning.
No way.
I actually do like this cover. It actually is a really cool cover of an Ewok if you really think about it, with the fire in his eyes.
I love the flames in his eyes, but I'm just like I said a minute ago. This is way too close to get to an Ewok, man.
It is.
Those things will chew your face off.
Also,
yeah, you can tell.
This Ewok looks like it brushes its teeth because it's got way too white of teeth.
Those aren't white. That's black. That's the shadow. Look at it.
White.
No, dude, that's black.
The teeth need to be rotting from eating on dead corpses.
I don't know. Wayseeker, if you think that's white, you should brush your teeth. That ain't it, bro. That ain't it. All right. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Whew. There was 20 plus covers of this because of all the... Don't worry, Dom. Don't say it. Dom, we're going to let you pass on this one. We're not even going to say what you said about this cover.
Yeah, you thought it was fire.
This is 20 plus. This is a Delano. This happened in April. This was right. I mean, all that area. There's a ton of 1-100s coming out at the time. This is right around April. Average for the last 3 months is $27.66. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't just one $5 and one $50 sale. There's at least almost 10 sales on this. And
I wouldn't pay $5 for this. This book
you would pay $5.
No, I wouldn't. This book, I am not supporting Vader Black and White and Red for anything because this book was up there for the worst comic book of the year.
It was bad. 45. Well, that was bad till Peach Momoka came out with her new book.
Yes, Peach Momoka and this is on the same thing because Peach Momoka was in this book.
Yeah,
one of the stories.
It was so bad. I think 45 was the height of this, and 500 pennies, Dwayne. It went 500 pennies.
I ain't paying 500 pennies. I'm going to the arcade and I'm just gonna.
Let's see if you can get it. Make sure you find everybody who's trying to sell you this for $210, and you just go OBO 210 OBO. Just go $5. That's what this book sells for. $5.
Any graded ones? Anyone graded ones on eBay?
What's that?
Any graded ones on eBay?
Probably. Yes. People people graded this. There's all types of this. This book litters eBay like rats litter the fucking ground in New York. It's all over the place, dude. All over the place. 1-100.
We should rank.
Pay $5.
We should rank the worst Star Wars stories of the year, and they would be the
hardest. I mean, it's a Delano, dude. You got to admit it. It's a good looking cover. It's definitely a Delano, but
the cover's nice. Man. Never judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess you're right on that. What do you say, Wayseeker? What should we do?
We should judge the worst comic stories of the year, and that'd be the hardest thing we ever have to do.
No, we can't do that because there's
so many bad ones.
There's 5 psycho. They probably love cats, but those 5 psycho Momoka people that whenever we say anything bad about Momoka, they send me.
We're gonna get bombed.
I'm gonna get bombed 100%. They send dead fish in the mail.
There's a graded 980 one of these on eBay. For $249.
Yeah. There you go, Dom. Go buy it.
$2.49.
No, $249.
Yeah, get out of your mind. You can get one for $5 and grade it for $30, and you're after shipping, you're $50 out the door with a 9.8. No,
there's another one that's just pathetic. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, where the heck was I going?
Momoka, all of those people they're coming after us.
Oh, they 100%. Yeah, the Momoka people are definitely coming.
You're gonna find an Ewok's head in your bed.
They probably will, man. Dude, no, the Momoka people are crazy. Dude, the one guy sent me a DM going, I don't know what you think you're doing, criticizing Momoka like that. That was the best read. I go, what do you mean read? There's no fucking words in it, bro. You can't read a book if it doesn't have words in it. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I don't actually know what you mean. You just said it was the best read. You cannot read a book, right? It was like a BK argument.
It had maybe 2 words in the beginning with the names of the characters. That was it. Tep and
yeah, but that was on the intro page.
Yeah,
it
wasn't in the poo poo or whatever.
Yeah, Tep and poo poo. Yeah.
Come on, Marco. You're talking about people who just look at the pictures, okay?
Oh, no, mad, sweaty, mad. I'm not saying that now. I'm gonna get more hate mail. Okay, just send it to Renovision though, because I just laugh at it. Like I seriously do.
She named a character Poo Poo. Like, what do you expect for a comic book?
Yeah, Poo Poo, Poo Poo. Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, like I get it. Like if you want to do art pages, that's fine. Like cool, go ahead. Like I get it, but like then you added it and called the character Poo Poo. Now you're just taking shots, right? Like there's no way. Like you could excuse a couple things. And then, but then at the end of every argument, too, was what was the one series she did that was pretty good?
Demons?
Yeah, Demon Slayer. So they're like, Demon Slayer was the best comic ever written in all of history. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't have any relevance to do with a book where she named a character Poo Poo. And by the way, in this book, do you remember what happened? Like somehow a heart or something flew up. It was a girl like in bed the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember this?
That was Wave Seeker's favorite book. What's the name? Saros's mother or aunt in the cover. That issue Momoka did.
This has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, yes, it does. Momoka's your favorite artist.
She didn't do Staros. Ireland did it. Ireland did the Staros.
No, but she didn't write it. But
she did. No, she did him. Momoka did that the Ewok donkey cover. I actually like that cover.
Yeah,
because it reminds me of the cartoon. Don't get it twisted. I have no problem with her covers, but like writing comic books and not having words in them and calling characters poo poo is like, that's too much. That's even too much for me, bro. That's just too much for me.
Made a lot of money doing that.
Hey, I guess if we're gonna do it, if I'm gonna get the hate mail, we might as well roll it in. Basically, there was something you said that the person yelled at me for too. I can't remember what you said, but you said something and they just rolled it right into the hate mail, bro.
I'm gonna get Nubs Nation after you one of these days because there's a lot of people that belong to Nubs Nation.
And no, there isn't.
Listen,
seeking after you.
Gonna start drawing Nubs for you.
The thing that I
Nubs book.
The thing that I go ahead.
What did you say, Dom?
Nubs is gonna be drawn by Peter Moga. She's gonna draw Nubs all for you.
I will, buy them all.
Dude, no, hey, the best troll that Dom actually does to get back at Wayseeker is he walks through stores and this is behind the scenes real quickly before we get to the next book. He goes through stores and takes pictures and goes, yep, they still got Nubs here, and it's overflowing because all the stores, because nobody buys Nubs. So he'd be like, Wayseeker, here's one for you. It's an end cap, overpouring with like Nubs stuffies. And he's like, guess they haven't sold it here either. And this is what Dom does. And then he trolls Wayseeker. So if you think Wayseeker gets all the hits, Dom does a very good job of trolling back. Let me tell you. All right, next book.
No.
Here we go to another one.
I only did this because it was close. All right. And this was another prop. Besides the book this is the book we were talking about. So we're really going to get hit now by the stands. Out the gate, supposedly there was a 125 sale. I believe that's true. I believe that there was 125, 135, I think, somewhere around there, but 125 on average coming out the gate.
Some Momoko fan would want
Momoka stands. And then there's also 8 covers. Because I think there was like 5 covers with it, and then there are 3 store exclusives.
And there's another one that's coming out that hasn't even come out yet. Yeah. Momoka's doing a store variant for some con in Tokyo that is coming out in a couple weeks. So there's another one that will be having more of these are going to be coming out.
Yeah, more store variants. Yay.
Yeah. I mean, store variants, as you can see in these, everyone that has a store variant, it has hurt the 1 in 100 value. Yeah, I should have gone through the second print because there was one that had a second print too that kind of hurt the value. But this one, I'll be honest with you, it's not that far out. It was November. I can't see because it's 15th. There we go. November 15th. So less than a month ago. This actually is lower typically than some of the, like, if you look at the 1 month rate and you see the average at 99.65, this is going to be closer to those Brown books that when I'm saying Brown, John Brown, Jason Brown, right? Ryan Brown, that's what his name is. Yeah, he's also from Michigan. Jason Brown and Ryan Brown are from Michigan. All right, they're going to be closer to the Java book than they are going to be to the Ahsoka book or the Leave book that we saw. It's just something that I've seen through the trends when you see this. The average here is $99.65. A bunch of covers, isn't a lot. Available right now, you can get one for $89.99. There is an auction, and this is another case when you start seeing this, you know the value is going to drop. There is a auction that's going to end in a day. They have a minimum bid of $75 on it, 0 on the $75. There's another one that's got 3 days or 2 days left on it. It's got like 9 bid. Now it doesn't have it has 9 bids, and they're at $21.50. This is 1 month in. This is early.
Just before the show started, I saw one on eBay for 99 cents, a 7-day one. So,
so that proves what we were just saying. Yeah. So when you see that happen within the first month, know your time to buy this is soon. Okay, that's usually what's happening at 3 months later, not 1 month after the 1 and 100s are coming out. Sorry, Peach Momoka stands. Go buy Devil Days or whatever the heck it is. But so this, like when you see that type of activity, know that's your time to jump now. You're going to be able to get a cheap book in here really soon. So
there you go. Jump in there? Huh? You ready to jump in there? I think I saw you. Maybe not.
Who? What?
I thought I saw Thade trying to jump in the conversation.
Oh,
sorry. No, I'm just like I don't understand. Look, some of her art's good. I won't say it's not, but like I don't see the obsession with this artist. I just don't.
No, I mean, you see, it's not just her. You see it with everybody. I mean, I made a comment the other day, and then I got a bunch of people hate on my too because, like, I actually like J. Scott Campbell and the majority of stuff they do, but there's some books there where you're like, you're only buying this because it's J. Scott Campbell.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like, I've been reading comic books since I was 8. Okay, and going through 40 years nearly of comic books. There are artists that I have followed. There are artists that I have liked, but I'm not as obsessed with artists as I am with story. Okay. And some of these books, man, there's a problem with the story. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
there is.
Yeah. I think there is. I think the rarity is the cover outdoes the story. That's a rare situation there. But I'm much like you. I'd rather have a good story on the inside.
Yeah.
That's not always the case though. The Matina Thrawn cover, the Boba Fett bounty hunter helmet cover, where you're like, okay, the story was like the Thrawn story we already knew, but the Matina cover had callbacks to the novel, which the novel was so good. I just had to get that.
There's I just found a $4.99 one on eBay.
For what?
For this cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's that bounty. You guys know that bounty hunter. I actually think it's one of the best Boba Fett helmet covers.
It's the one in 150. It's the one. It's Bounty Hunter's 150.
Yeah. That I think is one of. I think now's the time because I think you can get sub 100.
Yeah, I've seen some of those go for ratio lately. $50. So that one used to go like 3 times ratio easy.
Yeah.
So let's come back down to ratio.
But I mean those are books where I'm like, wow, even though there's like 80,000 Boba Fett covers. You're like, wow, that's actually like cool. Like it gives like because that cover in particular, the 150 for the bounty hunter cover, maybe we'll show it some other time, but like that one almost makes the helmet look. I probably have it right back there. It almost makes the helmet look reflective. It's really cool. So I mean that's just something different. But yeah, when it's like I don't really consider the artist to make that much of a difference. Like just the style to make a difference. So like if you like, not every artist puts up. Even Picasso's art is different prices, even if it's the same size. Because some of his shit is better than other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that goes for any artist. I mean, generally, any style, any artist, any type of art.
That's why I don't understand. That's why I don't understand blind stands. Like,
see, look how much work she's putting out throughout the month and through the years. Like she's doing so many damn covers and so much work at one time.
Yeah, it's not like she's working at Dynamite though.
Yeah, because I know she's put out some X-Men stuff. I know that.
No, she's putting out some X-Men stuff, and it's
Mark Hood loves it.
I've read the.
Let's go. Just do it. Keep digging. Take your shovel and just keep digging, Marco.
Well, there's nothing to read. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I am in full agreement with you, Marco. There's nothing to read.
No, they killed whatever that was. We don't know what is in that book because the Sith thing we think they killed.
We know it's not even. It's just a one-shot story that they're never going to go back to.
It was a mess.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
But also, like, there are iconic covers, and that's fine. Like the Aha Mall cover. There's iconic covers. There's some of them they're awesome, but I agree. You can't say just because you like an artist that everything is good, because there's some really bad even Aha covers. And for
there's one I'm thinking of, and I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to.
Raza too. Raza art sometimes it's great, and they got some shitty ass covers.
I know people hate some of the Thrawn Raza covers, which I don't, but I mean, I actually like that better. I like. Speaking of that when they did the first Thrawn series, and I know I'm always talking about it, so it sounds like, bleh, but like that first Thrawn series, if you look at the ratios, they're done by like all different artists, and I think they're all great. Like, I think they did. I mean, what is it? Is it 2 that's the soft one because it's the inside of the ship?
2 one is pretty bad. Yeah, that's the Tarkin one, right? Is that right? Not no, it's the
inside of the ship.
Yeah, the inside of the ship. Who did that one?
That's soft, but it's still good. I mean, it's just a different flavor.
But like everybody loves the Albuquerque of that one. There's a couple others. People.
Yeah, Kirky's good. Kirky's good. Yeah. Raza. Yeah, he does good. He does too. So is Aja. All right, last one. This is I'm just letting you know because this is something that's coming up, and this is you'll see this kind of trend too. And I actually want to follow this one because it's a connecting, and I want to see how these 1 in 100 connectings do. But sold 199, one already sold. This literally sold the day supposedly this sold. We'll see if it goes through because it hasn't appeared and they can cancel it. But 199 the day it was announced. Available right now, there is a couple. The 2 lowest is 101.24 and 119. Those have not sold. Those are actually available.
I'm surprised for something.
Yeah, for 1 in 100 that hasn't come out because it costs them a lot more. So yeah, I mean, it might be nice to get this connecting before it comes out if you can pre. This is the only time where like you try to take a gamble and say like, can I make an OBO for 89 and see if somebody jumps at it real quickly. I don't know if they will, but that will be coming out.
It's a great cover.
December 20th. It connects to the first one.
This one connects to the first one, right?
Yeah, this one connects to. I can just pull them together. Yeah, it connects to this cover right here.
Yeah,
it's Laura D. It connects to this cover. Like, damn, it's cool as shit too. She looks pissed.
They both look awesome.
Yeah, I think they did a good job on this. So
And can I just say, I have loved the High Republic aesthetic on a lot of the comics. Like the way the Jedi dress and everything else, it's so different than the current era, before the Fall of the Republic era,
I will say there's a couple misses on some of the stuff they do. But then it's the majority, I would say 60% of the aesthetics and the look is pretty good. Sometimes where people, the biggest failure, I guess, is what they did to what's his name, the Blade. But like most of the time, well, it is. But then most of the time,
what do you mean?
Well, you mean like how he had 2 flowing things like her? He was thin. He looked like an assassin type guy, and then they turned him into a blind, fat Irish man with shaved horns from Hellboy.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that what you? And then when you ask Charles Soule what happened, he goes, "You don't know what you're talking about," even though it distinctly says on the cover that's the character. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just asking.
Listen, you're gonna have to go see Charles Soule, bring pictures, and go look.
I already did. I did.
Yeah.
You don't. He's not.
Charles Soule's not one to play that game with.
He's not that guy. Yeah.
He'll kick you out. He's like, I don't care. You're gone.
Yeah, he like does not care. No, just about anything in general. Like he thinks he's quite funny, and he's not quite funny. So,
oh, he's one of those.
Yes. Yeah.
Like a McFarlane style kind of.
Oh yeah. The ego is not small. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
And
I get you.
How it was discussed. It wasn't even it wasn't me who said it. But I saw it, and it wasn't in a bad manner. Somebody just asked like, hey, by the way, it's been denoted, and it's on the cover of this jacket, and there's 4 people riding a horse type character.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book that he wrote, mind you, those 4 characters, like, they, oh my God, they did do the shield. Holy shit. Oh, I just figured that out. Nothing.
What?
Anyways.
What?
So, yeah, nothing. I'll tell you later. So they were taking a horse ride, and a fan walked up and was like, hey, by the way, like, what happened here? Because this was originally the aesthetic. And like now he's changed to, be bulkier and everything else. He's like, he was never on that cover. And he's like, yeah, he's right here on the cover. He's like, no, he's not. He's like, well, in the story, that character's riding. Well, how do you know that's him? Because there's 4 people riding. Like he was aggressive with it, and the fan just was like, okay, thank you. Could you just sign my book, please? Like, no reason to be all worked up, because you want to know how the guy knew, by the way? 2 points. 1, I told him. Number 2, it's in the fucking book, bro. Like, but like aggressive about it. It's like, I mean, people always knock Han Solo for being like just a little bit push office because he didn't know the answer to questions. This wasn't that. This was like, I know more than you because I wrote the book. So if I say so, that's how it is. And it's like, well, no, it's a glaring mistake, actually. Like, yeah, not a good one.
But Porter's, I know you're just getting into the High Republic. Porter's one of the better characters.
He's like
how
awesome
they made him look, just like,
yeah, they made him look
worse.
Like,
if
even
he wasn't a cool character, it wouldn't be so bad. But he's an awesome character.
And that book was the first time you like they described him, and they described him as like this cook and kind of like an assassin, the blade, da 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 da. So like it made sense. The character you saw in the front of the book is kind of like how you'd assume a video game assassin, a little bit stealthy, a little bit mover. But when you see him for the first time in annuals, he could be Scottish. I mean, he could be like your Scottish grandmother or your Scottish grandfather, whichever one. Very stocky, shorter, like missing an eye. Like he looked like Odin's son. You ever see Odin? Odin's son?
Yeah, Odin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he looks like. He looks like Odin's son. So like, yeah. But whatever. Why are we off on that tangent? Wayseeker, I'm getting all the hate mail today. Thanks a lot, dude.
Just doing
right. Finally up is another book.
Marco. Merry Christmas.
This is why you hate Santa. So there's 2 books I really want to look into. And I want to follow just kind of how they track. This, the connecting cover, right? Gave you kind of stats on that. That comes out first, December 20th. December 7th, or January 7th. Yes.
This right here, this is from the Visions, that episode that I was talking about.
Yes, absolutely. And it's great. I knew you were. I was just leaving it for later. We try not to let Dom spoil stuff. So you being the new guy, I'm definitely not letting. You've already screwed up chat when I was saying hide it. I wasn't going to let you do another step.
Okay.
Hey, first chance we just do it. Don't let you realize it till the end. Second time you do it, we start yelling at you like we yell at Dom. Okay.
This comic is going to give the pre-story to what we saw in Visions. So it's not a reprint of the Visions. It's giving a new story with this character.
But Takashi covers typically do very well anyways. I could go back to a 1 in 50 that's still doing very, very well.
I love this character, so I'm glad they come out another book.
But here we go. These are already pre-sales. 129, 149, 175, 95. It looks like this might be a sticker where we're going to get to maybe that 200 outside, just coming outside the gate, 200 on it.
It's going to be more than the figure New York City Comic Con.
But these are 1/100. That wasn't. Again, that was a store exclusive, Dom.
Yeah. Store exclusives never seem to pan out for as much, especially now in the day that there's no more. Like, I mean, they're still pumping and dumping, but like, there's not as much.
There could be a ton of store exclusives that come out with this one that could tank this one. It's quite possible.
Mm-hmm.
So we just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen to this. How many store exclusives come out? But I'm hoping there isn't, because if not, this thing should.
Okay, here's 2 parts to that story. 1, this isn't coming out in con season, so there will be a reduction in it. And number 2, even if there's a couple of them, this will still hold some weight for at least a couple months.
Mm-hmm. I give you that.
It just will. I mean, we're not going to get the red, black, and 25 covers, man. We're just not going to get it. So, I don't know, man. I think there might be some that are buying 1-100 for this, especially if they start seeing these pre-sale sells for 179, 150. They might just do. I mean, because at 129, if it was 129 and sitting there, they're not going to buy it for that. You're right. It's going to be very few. The top 1/3 is going to have this. The rest of them won't. But once you start seeing that trickle up to the $150 mark, that's where people are going to start getting excited. And people still do remember that 1 in 25. What was it, Yoda?
Yep.
It was Yoda 125 that he did. That did very well for them. They, believe me, retailers remember just like purchasers do. When they see something, they remember the cover and the artist. And if it looks like something that's sold before, they will remember. So
this character was hot out of the gate at the in Visions, the first episode. So anything basically comic wise, when the first comic series came out, people went off on those books. So now I can see people going off on these books when they drop in January.
Yeah, I mean, this does have a lot of stuff going for it. You know what I mean?
It doesn't have poo-poo in it, so that's good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, people like the character. People like the artist. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it doesn't have a character named Poo Poo and Doodoo.
I got my Rodin statue in the back of my Funko Pop. Rodin somewhere.
What's that?
No, my Funko Pop Rodin is somewhere in the back.
Oh,
It's
sweet.
over there somewhere.
Sweet. All right, so that was it. We'll keep checking back on those two. We'll probably run over some other variants and other stuff too to try to check out the market, just to give you a feeling every once in a while of like what the 3-month look back is. Not so much as like what we do with Way Seekers things where it's like, wow, how the mighty have fallen, but more like when's the time to get into these before it's gone, type of stuff. I do have one box left.
Let's do it.
All right. So last week, if you didn't watch, we were opening up. I went to that store too, but I had my kids with me, so I didn't buy more. So I'm gonna buy more for you now. But we went to the stuff. We went and got a box. I got a bunch of clearance Star Wars Book of Boba Fett Season 1 cards. I have got one box left. I'm not just sending them one box. I'm going to send them all the stuff I opened and then whatever. But hopefully we got, what was the patch card's the winning card, right? And all of our patch cards were Fennec Shan, which isn't bad because I think before that, one of ours was, I think our patch card before that, when we opened one of these packs, was like the mayor or something like that, which kind of sucks. So I got one box left. And I figure, why not, before I throw all this junk out, open up. Have you ever opened up cards before there, Dave?
Oh, yeah, years ago.
Yeah. I'm not huge into opening them, but like...
Oh, dude. When I was in my teens in the late 80s, I worked for a comic book store. And we sold like a lot of the late 80s, early 90s. We bought a lot of the Marvel cards and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I would buy boxes of them and take them home and like pop packs.
Yeah, I did that too. The Marvels, the first Marvel
cool back in the day.
for the masterpieces.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is. There's two that could be it. Well, hopefully I open up the... This one feels like it's the last. That one feels the thickest.
You're going to get a gold Boba Fett.
Hopefully we do. Is there any news you'd like to question? Wayseeker, is there any news since Dom missed it you'd like to question him about?
I don't think I trolled too hard today.
I think that, what's his name? The guy who did Godzilla -1 wants to do it.
We talked about this. Yeah, I'm not excited for it. Yep. But it's in there. We did talk about this one.
Oh, this one. Yeah, I want to hear your opinion on
this.
I
think you really want, but none of us really want.
Why? You don't want Mara Jade?
Marshall, who played voice actors for Hera, wants to play Mara Jade in live action. Nobody wants. I mean, we know you want Mara Jade in a bikini or less, going around with
gold bikini,
pink lights, purple lightsaber, doing her thing, and nobody needs that except for you for whatever reason.
I like Mara Jade. I think Mara Jade. Oh, which one's that?
That's Boba, like with his shirt wide open, smacking somebody. A stunning aftermath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like Mara Jade. I thought that she was a great character in Legends. And Luke deserves to have a wife.
No, they wouldn't do it as Luke's wife. They would just do a Mara Jade story.
Luke does not need a wife. Do you not see like her? How would that even fit with the storyline where he's?
Yeah, no storyline.
That doesn't make sense.
What if we did one shots though, Dom, of her just outside, like in EU? Oh, there you go. The Arsenal card.
Arsenal, nice,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
We also talked about how the Bad Batch is post-production is near finished. We found that confirmed with the mixing is complete. We're probably looking at this one late winter, early spring. It'll probably be the next show that we get. So that's
Biker Boys.
We talked about. We know you're.
Wait, are you excited to see the final season of that? What if they spin off? What would Dom? How about you give us while I'm opening these up? How about you give us your fan for a spin-off series? You give us your fan idea for a spin-off series for Omega. What you would hope the Omega spin-off series would be?
I would hope that she turns out to be a bounty hunter. A bounty hunter, and not with force-sensitive powers. I'm tired of the force-sensitive powers. Everybody's getting force-sensitive powers. More of, if she is truly Boba Fett's sister, in cloning wise.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, the fact is that she's.
How could she be a clone of a like? How does it? How does she become?
She was a clone. She when Django gave up his DNA, they turned her like they did with Boba. They made a single to make her age just like Boba Fett.
Do that.
Which makes no fucking sense because he was actually 40 years old in this timeline, but they got him a 60-year-old Mira Morrison, which it is what it is. But
yeah, I mean, what's the egg that they impregnated everybody with? Because wouldn't that have to be part of it too? I guess I don't know.
Well, not the egg, but the embryo.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the swimmer, sure, but yeah, the embryo. Well, yeah.
That they would definitely have her like a Thundercat. No,
yeah, Thundercat.
Definitely, she'll be on a different path. A bounty hunter, than Boba Fett. Because at this time, Boba Fett
was actually that's what we all wanted. We wanted the Womp Rat. I think that's the first Womp Rat we've gotten in 4 boxes.
I could see her going a different path. Boba Fett was doing the ruthless bounty hunter thing, and then she goes a different way.
She's too not going to be the bounty hunter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Was he a ruthless bounty hunter though? He kind of like in canon, to be honest with you, and your boy Dave did this, but like he really was. If you go back and watch those episodes, he was really screwing up a lot. He wasn't really.
He was screwing up. He got Ventress, tied him up, put him in a box. I remember that. And he would actually, all kidding aside, Boba Fett actually didn't want to shoot any of his clones. All he wanted to do was get revenge on Mace Windu. That's all he really wanted.
So what if she comes out and gets revenge on Mace Windu?
Oh, Barco.
He falls out of a window. And he's got like he's got
this.
Hey, remember when Goldie Hawn fell off that boat, Dom? Remember when Goldie Hawn fell off that boat? Yeah. What if it's Mace Windu?
That's a cool card. That's
awesome.
I like that.
What if it's Mace Windu falling off falling out the window, right? And then all the Bad Batch is dead, and she has no place to go, and then all of a sudden she sees Mace Windu on the ground. Oh, there's your boy, the mayor.
Well, look, you know what? It all depends on what happens this season, because if the doctor turns out being Jango Fett's legitimate daughter and winds up dying, I could see her being upset with that and maybe fighting a good fight, because she needs more deaths by her side to really season her, to make her who she is. Hopefully Tex is dead. He doesn't come back. Hopefully he died.
Oh wow!
I hope he's dead too. I bring him back, but I hope he's dead.
I hope he is. But it all depends. Like I said, if the doctor, she turns out to be Django's sister, that should be interesting. I mean, Django's daughter.
Okay, so what happens though if he falls out? She picks him up and she just thinks he's like some guy, and she tries to help him out, right? And then what happens after that is, while she's there, like he's got he's got something on him, and it ticks it up, and it shows the replay of him chopping off Django, her dad's head, or he says something in a dream or something, and then she's like does the research, and she gets on a HoloNet, and then she gets to see on the HoloNet
we definitely need that cutting off the head. We need this mute button so bad for Marco this month. He's trolling so hard.
I'm not trolling at all.
You're totally trolling.
Hey, I know he is. Hey, listen,
100%. So that as she's doing it, the HoloNet pops up. In the meantime, she wants to find out who her true parents are. So then she runs a DNA test and finds out that Django was really her dad. And now she's torn between two worlds because she wants.
You mean the world to be about worlds. She's torn in the world between worlds.
Oh, because she went into the world between. Oh yeah. Wow, what a twist! She went.
Wow, that's crazy.
Shatter points in the world between worlds.
But then she wants to become a bounty hunter, and she knows how to get a reputation is to turn in a Jedi. So she actually heals Mace Windu to heal him up so that she. Oh, what?
What if she is actually Jango's mother?
No. Would you let me finish telling the story? So she then heals up Mace Windu so that she can then have a fair fight against him, chop off his head, and then take that into the Bounty Hunters Guild because, technically a bounty hunter got killed, so you need to avenge a bounty hunter by killing Mace Windu. Actually gets a reward from Palps. Palps giggles her, but she doesn't die because she now has got on the armor, right? Which apparently Durasteel, we don't know how that works anymore, but whatever. She's got the armor on. She's rocking it. She gets Boba Fett's helmet at the end for turning in Mace Windu's helmet. And next thing you know, she goes into the Outer Rim and she just starts doing bounty hunters out there and is the deadliest bounty hunter in the Outer Rim. Works for some of the Hutt gang. She goes to Hutt space for a bit. You'd watch that, wouldn't you? Jesus, how many of that do we get?
Nobody's watching.
Did he quit?
You don't even know what you just said.
I know, right?
It makes sense. There's your boy, though.
What do you mean? She goes into Hutt space after she turns in Mace Windu? After she races him up to kill him?
Mace Windu's helmet. What helmet does Mace Windu have?
No, head, not his helmet. His head.
Oh, you said something about okay.
No, she gets Bubba's helmet. She gets or Jango, whatever. She gets whoever's helmet.
Well, I could see her maybe hunting down because he actually Boba Fett at this time is off radar. Nobody knows where he is right now. So that's why maybe she goes looking for Boba.
Dom, are you buying Santa Claus Frozen in Carbonite?
She's going after this guy right here.
That actually is pretty cool. I would buy that, but on my tree.
I think it's cool too.
I think it's cool. I like that. That's cool. Arsenal.
Oh, another Arsenal card. Yeah, those Arsenal cards are cool.
Yeah.
Arsenal is supposed to be numbered or something.
$15, totally reasonable too.
Hey, it's half of the season. Back a take.
Well, that's
yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
I still can't believe of all the packs that we're getting. It feels like you're trolling Dom. You got 4 boxes of Book of Boba Fett.
I know, right? This is almost done. We're almost done here. All right. Dom's so happy they showed up for this so that he can revel in. They got to give us. They have to give us the Boba Fett
redemption tour.
The Boba Fett, whatever the patch card.
Well,
right?
a couple of months ago, when I was talking to Wayseeker, D. Badley Baker, when I got his autographs, I asked him, before like the strike was going on, I said, maybe Boba Fett will show up in freaking Bad Batch season 3, and he's like, he goes, I can't deny, I can't say yes, I can't say no. So
that doesn't mean anything, Don.
Well,
that literally
means something. Maybe. Give me a benefit of the doubt. Have Boba Fett show up once.
How would he know?
Because he does the voices. He would know. He does everything. He's in every episode for all the clones.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'd be fine with Boba Fett showing up.
Yeah, I don't care if Boba Fett shows up. What's Boba Fett going to say then when he shows up? You are my sister?
Omega,
I am
you
Boba
are
Fett.
my sister.
You are my sister.
I am Boba Fett.
It'd be so bad. I'm turning off the show if that happens. If
that's going to happen. All right, so this has got to be the patch one. Unless we didn't get a patch.
I'm going back to the Book of Boba Fett. I'm going to watch it again.
Oh, wow. You're going to waste your time, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, a Fennec in here. I'll drop that card. I can see on the ground. Oh, Luke, these are all cards we've seen before.
Grogu.
That's a new Grogu. Oh, we didn't get the Suey?
I don't know if we had that one.
I got my hands on my hips. My hips. She's always
better than crossing her arms.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It's the only 2 poses they had: crossing her arms and hips.
You can grab it, tits.
Oh, what is this? Oh, that's it. We got another Fennec. This is a different one. Oh, this is her helmet, though. That's actually a kind of a cool patch.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Is that all we get? All we get is Fennec Shan patch cards.
Maybe
I'll send you those patches.
I guess you have to get. I guess the Fennec, the Boba Fett patches are in the regular boxes. Maybe.
I don't know what that means. Okay, cool. The rest of those I'll throw away. All right, there we go, guys. That was it. It's a short solo. It's unfortunately for Dom showing up this late, but yeah, we got through it a little bit. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed the segment about the 1 in 100s. I think that's a good way of doing it, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah, it worked out well.
If you didn't enjoy Wayseeker's book report, please give us a thumbs up.
Everybody enjoyed it.
Talk about?
Everybody enjoyed it.
What did we talk about? Wayseeker did a book report on a 2-page comic. And then
I also talked about Marta's Littles. I talked about how Marta's Littles are all about Phase 3, and so
he gave a full book report on 2 stories.
Everybody was so in the chat about Marta's Littles. They were so
you missed it. You got to go back and watch it. Every shot,
Marta's Littles.
Everybody, a bunch of shots got taken back on Wayseeker. He was like, everybody's been asking me to do this. And we're like, who's everybody? Nobody. And everybody's like, nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted this.
I gave a brief intro review of the Insider Stories.
Yeah, so we did that. It wasn't a huge show. It was a fast show. We had a lot of cool things in it real quickly. Tidbits. It was 30 minutes on 4 pages. It was 30 minutes on 4 pages. And
it was a good 30 minutes.
And he forgot, what was the word they were using? Was it Deke? Deke. Yeah, they forgot that, like in that Insider, the kids' book where they're killing people left and right, and they're also on the page put Deke, 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 Deke. So if you say it, you know what it sounds like. You're saying it.
Oh, and buckets of blood, making the kids change their clothes.
Oh yeah, bucket of blood stripped down to a loincloth, and then said, "Kids, get all your clothes off."
Yeah, wow. What kind of book is that, man?
Wayseeker's the best one.
Dude, it was a free comic book day book made for kids that ended so bleakly. I wanted to, not. I was not happy. It was just.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the chat. I forgot you missed it. Chat came up with like deathmatch, and it is a Chewbacca versus 4 Ewoks, but they can only use their ears. So then we kind of talked about how that would work, probably.
Marco somehow thinks the Ewoks are going to win, but that's crazy.
No, not crazy. That's
crazy.
Happening.
Let me point out that Ewoks were originally supposed to be Wookiees in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they were too creepy, so they had to shrink them down in size.
So there's this movie reaction YouTuber that I watch. He's like 40 years old, I think, and he just watched the original trilogy for the first time on movie reaction. His opinion of the Ewoks were hilarious.
Wow. Yeah, I think like if you originally watched them, it's a little bit different than if you're watching them 20 years later. Not to mention they came out with a TV show where they had those 2 weird Children of the Corn kids, and they were led by an Ewok.
Yeah, but
Ewoks.
The first Night Sister. That was the first Night Sister in the freaking Caravan of Courage. That they put in there back in that movie. But the Ewoks, if you watch it now, if you were a kid, you enjoyed the Ewoks because you were a kid.
Yeah.
Now if you watch it, you think it's silly and it's funny. Well, listen, Star Wars is silly and funny from the beginning.
Oh, the whole concept is absurd.
Wookiee Fanatic, I tried my best to review the Secrets of the Wookiees book that just came out, but Marco's like, no, you can't do that. You can't.
That's not true.
Report.
Once again,
you can't have another book report on this show. No Wookiees. We can't review the Wookiees. Nobody wants the Wookiees.
So that's not true. We could do that. What is it? It just came out?
Secrets of the Wookiees. It just came out.
Yeah, let us not forget that the most absurd Star Wars thing ever was the Christmas special that just had an anniversary a few days ago.
Well, listen, the one good thing about the Christmas special, Boba Fett. That's the only good. That's the thing that gets. But then again, it wasn't even Boba Fett's first appearance. His first appearance was
parade
earlier in the parade.
Yeah.
So, but it's still Boba Fett's on screen.
What was the kid's name? Spanky or whatever?
Spanky. Where?
What was
Marco? What are we talking about here?
What's Chewie's kid? What's Chewie's kid?
Lumpy.
That's Spanky.
And the father looked like Archie Bunker combined with somebody else sitting in that chair.
Dude, the whole thing was bad. B. Arthur was
there. Dude,
awesome.
how about the kind of weird softcore Wookiee porn going on in that show?
Yeah,
I know.
Oh yeah,
it was so bad. The CGI couldn't even help Luke's face. Come on.
There was. Did you just say the Luke face thing? I was reading comment.
Yeah.
And Luke with his "I feel the Force."
Oh. No, that is one thing too. Like think about this.
B. Arthur looked older in that than she did in Golden Girls. Think
about this. For 40 years, they've still been trying to explain how Luke got 0 training, but showed up to Jabba's palace and just started wrecking shit.
No one.
Yeah, I actually did a deep dive on that. Luke was only on Dagobah with Yoda before he ran off to help Han and all them on Cloud City. He was only with Yoda for like 3 months.
Yeah,
like
the whole fact is they said that Dagobah the time is quicker the time is different. Like it's quicker. The days go by faster. So he was there much longer than people.
No, he was there for 3 months. So if it's 3 months, is even less than that. He was there for like a week. And here's part number. But here's part number 2. What? What is that? Not what you're saying, Dom?
No,
Dom's saying he's like was there for like years because
he
of
was
time.
He was there longer. They said the
Dom's
days
just
go
making
by
things
quicker.
up again.
The time is different there in Dagobah.
Dom speaking nonsense. Just
I don't know what.
Look it up. Look it up. It actually
look him up on Screen Crush, right? Screen Crush got an article about it.
No, look it up.
That still doesn't explain it because when Yoda died, he still was having trouble pulling an X-wing out of the ground. But then all of a sudden he shows up and just.
Or let me ask you a question now. How long the gap between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the
Jedi? Was it
Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the whole of Empire Strikes Back takes place over about 8 or 9 months.
Yeah,
because of them running from the Empire,
right?
And between
he said between that and Jedi though.
Oh, I said
but between Empire and Jedi, I think it's like a year.
Yep.
But is it an exact year or is it just the next year?
It could be less, but it's not like
that's what I'm saying. It can't be any more than a year. So the answer is, I guess, can't be any more than a year down. Where was the point?
Well, listen, time is different in Star Wars. We don't know. It's a crazy thing that Luke had his training in between.
Maybe he went to the world between worlds, got about 7 years of training in time.
Listen to
came
me.
Back out.
Between worlds in Ahsoka.
He had to get black robes somehow. Like he had to go to the tailor.
But I mean,
were you trying to save the lightsaber to cut that scene out of Return of the Jedi?
This comic series, this version this year, doesn't make Luke doing any sort of training at all.
Yeah, he's doing zero.
What training in Ray did?
Zero.
Yeah, so looking it up, it's about a year between Empire and Jedi.
Yeah, that's what Ruben said.
Yeah,
it's no more than a year. That's what we're gonna say. No more than a year. And in that time, he had to knit together some black pajama pants. He had to come up with a new lightsaber somehow.
Well, okay, so if you go by the old Legends canon, then what he was doing was like he went at some point between Empire and Jedi. He went back to Tatooine.
Yeah,
and found Obi-Wan's. Went through Obi-Wan's belongings.
No, that's new. That's new. No, he did that. He did that. That's new. That's a new thing. The old version, he went back to Dagobah, and Force Ghost somehow trained him, I think, to do something or another, and then he went on some mission.
He's getting the comic books now.
Did he get robbed or something?
He didn't get any training in these comic books. We're reading them. There's nothing happening with training.
Well,
he went no space
the
and
knowledge.
Like,
the knowledge.
Of what?
Of what?
Didn't he figure man? He figured he learned the books.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
That's what he's got. He's got that.
He got blown up by Boba Fett, the other weakest human being in here. That's OP for no reason.
Hey, shut up.
Yeah, no. The comics.
He did though, didn't he? He blew up. That's what Dad was talking about when Boba Fett rocketed that fucking hut. Rocketed Ben's hut.
The first comic series made sense because then at least he was doing Obi-Wan's journals. Like that made sense. This done nothing.
Well, time's different apparently.
He got the training against the freaking goddamn Grand Inquisitor in the Spirit of Grand in the temple to get the yellow lightsaber. So he's learning. Each step is a training course for him. That's what's happening. If you really look at it,
we'll see. We'll see what he does.
I've looked at dark side. No, he just shows up somehow and then is able to fight with the Inquisitor. Which, by the way, his previous fight, he lost a fucking hand. And the lightsaber, I might add.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he loses a hand in lightsaber and then somehow goes from that to fighting an Inquisitor.
You know what? Listen, the stories don't make sense, but it's the story they're building upon it. That's what we're getting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a Luke training manual down the road.
I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know. We should just leave Luke alone. Leave that boy alone. He doesn't need anything. And then Kylo Ren burnt down his whole village. I mean, how tough could he be? That's all I'm asking you.
You're just trying to make God mad.
Dude, isn't that what happened?
We got all this stuff. We're just gonna keep
the only victory Boba Fett ever took was when he blew up he blew up Ben Kenobi's hut and almost killed Luke Skywalker. That's the only time. That's the only W he got.
Okay, so Dagobah has an orbital period of 341 days, which is just 4 short of an Earth year. And it has a 23-hour rotation period. So,
less hours.
Yeah. So scientifically speaking, the only way you get a longer duration period on a planet is if it's farther out from the sun. Okay, because Earth rotates around the sun, Earth goes around our sun on a 365-day cycle, but Neptune takes 200 years to orbit our sun. So
true.
You got time dilation there, but you're farther out from your star, man.
Yeah.
All right. On this note, just
a little kid in an X-wing alone to fight a Rancor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when any of that happened. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That was good. Again,
we're talking about Star Wars here. Nothing's supposed to make sense.
Yeah, I mean that's the lie, right? Like the lie is we have canon and everything's supposed to make sense and correct, but that's the biggest lie in Star Wars because they don't care about canon anymore.
But you get you get the fans. We live, we breathe, we die. Star Wars, don't talk bad.
No, that's not. You get fans that talk bad about Star Wars all the time.
I know, I'm just saying, but people talk that. But the fact is that look, at the end of the day, there was a story concept to the original trilogy. The sequel, the prequels, there was somewhat of a story there too, but the sequel trilogy is still in question. That the story, you have one movie that was done one way, the second movie was done another way, and the third movie was done.
Yeah, there may have been a plan to the original trilogy, but George changed it all the time while he was making those movies.
He didn't change it; he wasn't there. Like Empire, he wasn't there. Like it's well documented. He wasn't there for that. For Empire. No, he wasn't. He was raising a lot of funds.
No, but he didn't direct it. He wrote it. He wrote the Empire. And
10 pages.
He did pages.
10 pages.
Aside, do you know the world?
That's an outline. Wayseeker's book report on 2 Insider magazines was longer than 10 pages.
Well, the World Between Worlds was actually the concept they wanted to use in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it was.
I can't believe it.
Except for here's the thing. Here's the thing.
It just says
nobody knows what it is. Ask any of them. Like that's the biggest lie about George too. Anything George hears that he likes, he's like, yeah, that was a concept. I was going to do something with that. It's like, oh, what were you doing? Well, I don't know.
Things written.
I believe there were, but he changes his mind all the time.
That was my point I was making about the original trilogy. Things were changed all the time, and even though he was consulted, even though he wasn't there during Empire, he was still consulted on a lot of that thing. And part of why he wasn't there during Empire was because he got sick because of stress. He almost died of a heart attack at one point because he was stressed the hell out because he wasn't sure how he was going to finance this movie.
Yeah, he spent a lot of money on financing in that. Yeah. But also, too, a lot of his decision-making, too, let's be real, was somebody going, George, does this sound about right? And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what it's the George R.R. Martin. Like, it must be the name George.
Plus, a lot of the time between the first movie and the second movie, he was fighting with the guy that he put in control of ILM because that guy wanted to run the cruise the way he wanted to, and he didn't want to listen to George. So it's like, there was a lot of conflict. I just watched a 4-part documentary on Star Wars.
We're getting trolled by the Mountain Dew gaming.
Where did that come from?
Are you really drinking a Mountain Dew? Is that what
No, it's bullshit. Nobody drinks a Mountain Dew, bro.
We haven't got the Russian tit nuts with the Ford bots for a long time.
We got the Mountain Dew bots.
Look, let me tell you, what's crazy? You probably see a lot of concepts in original scripts that were never used, and they're using some things now, which is
hold on though.
Well,
let's be careful really here with what we're doing here, because even in those documentaries that are done by Lucasfilm to make Lucas look really good, we're not reading in between the lines. There's a lot of stuff there where if you actually get some of the factual stuff about it, and nobody knocks them, nobody's like trying to hate on him when they say like, hey dude, he was sick, like he also was out going and getting financing. Remember, there's no cell phones. And traveling's a damn long way. So you can't tell me when you're gone, when you're in England and he's in the U.S. trying to fundraise and sick, and he's gone for 9 months of it, and they've got 10 pages of script that maybe like a one phone call a week. We're going, hey, George, this is the idea we have. Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to scribble it down. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds more realistic to like, oh no, he was sitting there and had all these screenplayers things going.
The documentary I was talking about that I just watched, it's like 4 or 5 parts. It wasn't like, there was a lot of real truths there that they were talking about, and they weren't kind at all to George, because, you know, George, look, let's be serious here, people. If it wasn't for Marsha, that first movie wouldn't have gotten made.
Yeah,
because he was listening to too many people.
Not just Marsha.
Yeah,
it was also, if it wasn't for Harrison Ford and the guy that played Obi, because not only did he do that, but he hired fuckers that can't act. And another one who, God bless her soul, was drugged the fuck up. Like, way the fuck up.
Talking about Carrie Fisher, there was an interesting story.
No, you badmouth Carrie Fisher. God bless Carrie Fisher. She's dead, but go ahead.
They were making... No, I'm not going to badmouth her, but they were talking about the making of Return of the Jedi. And there was a point where they couldn't find Carrie. And she was out of it on whatever narcotic, you know. And... one of the not cinematographer guys, one of George's assistants was trying to talk to Carrie, and he couldn't get his point across to Carrie. So he went to Marsha and he said, "Hey, Marsha, Carrie's out of it." And she goes, "Send her in here." He says he was standing outside the door. He heard just a few of the things that Carrie said to her, but that Marsha said to her. But he did say one thing. He goes, "Yeah, she told Carrie to get it together, otherwise you're done," basically. And there was a whole lot more rude words than that, but she basically told her to get with the program, and they said that Carrie straightened up from there on out, at least for the rest.
I don't know how much of it was that and how much people were actually caretaking for her, because I think people did caretake for Carrie. You know, I mean, she was still very young at that age.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, when you think about it, it really was Star Wars. See, like, that's always the problem that I have now in the retelling of Star Wars and the drunk talk from, what was dipshit's name that went on there and ran about how Star Wars fans are all toxic and everybody hates it and they don't own it. It's only for Lucas and kids. Prince Jr. The problem with it is Star Wars, let's be honest, was never George Lucas's. It was everybody. It was a village. It was a whole bunch of people that took it to go off. So like this whole like in the vision of George Lucas bullshit, like when you say it, it's kind of a slap in the face for every single person who's put in hard work.
There's a story, and they were telling it in this documentary, that they did a screening for A New Hope with a bunch of director friends.
Yeah,
and they said that Brian De Palma told George the whole concept of the Force was ludicrous. It wasn't going to work. It was going to tank the movie. And George went home angry and like took all of it out, and Marsha put it back in. Because she was like, no, this is the only way this story makes sense.
Do remember the documentary you're watching too is a very, to put in, it is a very pro Marsha documentary. Like there definitely was fraction in the sides there too. So like some of the stuff too, there was people though that did say like there's too much religion in this. Like it's too much based off of religion. People aren't going to watch it. You know, there was the talk about it being copied of other products that were coming out. There may or may not have been some script that got leaked to him, and maybe a little bit of like concept art that may have gotten leaked to him about a certain other sci-fi movie that was coming out.
Frankly, let's talk about the big animal in the room here. George is not perfect. Okay, no, George was never perfect. He did what he did, and we appreciate it because we wouldn't be talking right now if it wasn't Star Wars. But George was not a perfect man. And all of these people who like to cherry pick these days, all of these quote unquote fans that like to cherry pick this whole thing these days and talk about how George was perfect. George could never. And
George would have done this. And if George still was having it in Disney route, no, you guys.
And frankly, also, George has been on the set of some of his new productions. George was on the set of all of them. He's still a consultant in a lot of ways. You know, I mean, People try to make George a victim now and say that Disney victimized him, and it's not true. It's frankly not true. You know who?
If anything, they've given. I'll be honest with you. If anything, they've given him more power because now it's the word of like. How many times has Dave ever said, well, George said this.
Right.
Yeah. You want to know who victimized George? If you really want to know, the toxic fan base. That's why George sold out to Disney in the first place. Besides the $4 billion price tag, but still, George was tired of the fans.
It was the same fan base that actually is attacking Disney now because they.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is this has been happening since the start.
Yeah.
I was in the habit through the Star Wars, the whole time of Star Wars, reading fan magazines and stuff like that.
Fansies and shit. Yeah.
And looking at the way people talk about, the same things they were saying, the same things they're saying now, they were saying 40 years ago. Okay.
40 years ago, shit, they were saying it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember I was there for the prequels. I remember everybody that was angry about the prequels.
20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, and I'm going to say it, and I know this is going to be a hot take, I actually prefer the prequels to the OT.
Well, that's an opinion.
Yeah. Hey, listen, everybody's got an opinion.
That's why I said hot take.
Ruben likes the new 3 movies.
Ruben likes the sequels compared to better than all the other ones. So.
Well, and here's the thing.
We allow Ruben on the show too, so it's okay.
I was not happy about the sequels. Okay, let me just be frank. I was not happy about the sequels, but the other, and I hadn't seen any of them since the day they basically the 3 of them came out. Okay, the other day I was bored and I sat down and I watched The Last Jedi, and I don't hate it as much as I used to. I don't prefer it to some other movies.
Which one's that one? You gotta say 1, 2, or 3.
The middle one of the.
That's the only one I defend. The only one I defend.
Ryan Johnson
is the Ryan Johnson one.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like any of them. But
and there's a couple reasons why I defend it. One is because it actually tried to salvage the first part. There were some great cinematic points. That point, the silent 10 seconds epitomizes Star Wars in my mind. Like, it was cinematically well done. It made sense.
Oh, you're talking about when she hands him the lightsaber?
No. It's when they do the spacing, when it's quiet in space.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, that's just super cool.
The kamikaze attack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Before the hyperspacing, and then you hear the hyperspace pop off. That's crazy. Like, that's really.
Look, and to play devil's advocate here, each one of the trilogies, if you take them as just trilogies apart from the others, they all have good points. They all have bad points. Okay. Some more than others.
The sequels, no, I have to disagree with that.
Bad. They didn't have any good points, but that's okay.
Look, the whole part is the sequel trilogy, the way they freaking the legacy characters, how they off the legacy characters.
I don't have a problem with that. Actually, that's the least. That is the least of the problem. I actually thought they did him the best justice out of the 3.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything different than his mentors did.
Yeah,
everybody. All of them went into exile. All of them exiled themselves.
Not only just that, but the part where I think we forget he's on that salt planet, and like how they did that with the no feet movement and everything there, and he projected himself. It made sense. That's a lot better than like the stupid Han. My kid's gonna stab me, and I know they had to.
The force projection is actually a real force freaking trick that's in the
that's what I'm saying, and that's like, once again, was that the Johnson movie too?
The Johnson movie,
yeah, yes. Johnson.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you go back and watch that Johnson movie, like, and you take it out that they killed Luke, your favorite character to play with when you were a little kid.
Hold on maneuver. I hated that. There's so many things I hated.
Honestly,
yeah, wait, secret, but you hate Santa Claus, so that your opinion's irrelevant.
It worked. You can't keep going to that.
You love nubs.
Hold on maneuver was so bad.
Okay, look. A lot of people get mad because the biggest thing that makes people mad is they're trying to make sense out of what's going on.
Yes, I'm always going to try to make sense of what's going on.
And if you deep dive too much on this shit and you don't just enjoy it for what it is, then you're going to drive yourself freaking crazy, man.
If you use the Force in a negative way at one time, now that doesn't matter because everybody can use the Force apparently, and the Force can be a song.
That was George's thing.
And the Force
that was a George thing. That was a George thing.
Once again, you forget you're talking to the guy that says George just would randomly say dumb shit, and people be like, "Okay, George, thanks a lot. We're gonna finish shooting the scene." You're talking to the wrong guy when you say it's a George thing. I'm a Star Wars fan, not a George Lucas fan. Don't get it twisted. Here's number 2. the projection of him using the rest of his energy because he was getting older and everything else, and his Force essence to project himself, killed him. It's not like every time you project yourself Force-wise, it does it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I think that looking at it again, was I happy that Luke died? No, but he was an old man.
He had to die.
He used a lot of his power. And frankly, he can't live forever. Right. Not even Yoda could live forever. Okay?
And I think that's the biggest problem. I think that if people actually said the quiet part out loud, the problem they have with the second movie is Luke died.
Yeah.
They don't have a problem with any of the rest of not Wayseeker who hates Christmas, but the majority of the people will say a bunch of bullshit and they'll be like, yeah, you die from it. So they're always bringing it back to Luke's death. Well, also, if Luke didn't die in that movie, people wouldn't have a problem with that movie. I not everybody. There's still the Wayseekers.
And here's the problem too. They built Luke up so much in the EU that people expected that from the sequel trilogy. And honestly, we don't even know how Luke really was. We're missing 30 years nearly between.
Yeah. He got blown up in a ship by Boba Fett, so we know that. And then a kid blew up his whole Jedi training temple, so we also know those two things.
Yeah,
we know a kid destroyed his entire training facility.
Yeah,
but
but it's also like the different recollections of that moment where he's in Ben's hut. You get it one way from Ben, and you get it one way from Luke, and then you get what really happened. Okay.
Yeah.
And
you're talking about Ben Solo, not Ben. Yeah.
Everything is perception. Okay. Ben Solo saw it as his uncle was coming to kill him. Luke saw it as I was doing what was necessary. But the real truth of the matter is Luke Skywalker has always had a problem with trusting himself in the Force. He always had a problem with it. He always questioned everything he did.
Well, that's because nobody ever trained him.
He questioned himself way too much.
He saved his dad. He saved Vader and redeemed Vader. But the whole fact is, but people, I'm not the biggest Luke fan, but
you are kind of the biggest Luke.
Did he, or did his dad save him?
I'm not a bit, but I like Luke. I didn't like the way they betrayed Luke.
I didn't like.
See, there it is. That's what it is. That's 100%. It's that they killed Luke Skywalker.
No, I don't like Luke. I don't like this Luke that was able to stand up to the Palpatine and say, "No, I will not go to the dark side. You can't do this." I'm sure. You might say he's not sure of himself. He was sure of himself in Return of the Jedi. Yeah. He was not standing up and going to the dark side. But he throws his lightsaber away. He makes that decision. It's a strong decision. It is not the weak decision of going off into exile.
Okay, Wayseeker.
I don't like how those two match.
Didn't Obi went to exile? He wasn't weak. He's right. That is right.
Obi went to exile to watch Luke. That was not to go into exile.
Because we saw a TV show where he went to go eat fucking whale meat. Right?
Well, that was a stupid show. That whale meat. Don't give me that. You can't go there.
Okay,
you can't use Obi-Wan's show to make your point because that was hot garbage.
Okay, let's look at this from a psychological. Let's look at this from a psychological standpoint, okay? Especially with Luke Skywalker, all right? Yes, he stood up to Palpatine. That is true. But what did Luke always want to be? Think about it before he finally did what was necessary. What did Yoda say about him? All his life, as he looked away to the future, never his mind on where he was, okay? So when Luke defeated Palpatine,
wasn't just him. His uncle said that too. But go ahead. Yeah.
With when Luke defeated Palpatine with Vader's help, okay?
Yeah, Vader's defeated Palpatine, but yeah.
He still had a lot of the mind of a young man, and his whole point was, I'm going to do these great things. I defeated Palpatine, so now I'm going to rebuild the Jedi Order. And then it fell apart.
Wait, who threw Palpatine over the fence?
Vader.
Yeah, I am not disagreeing with you.
Who defeated Palpatine?
He was strong enough to say, "I'm not going to be like my father." That's all I said. He did that. Yeah, he couldn't be Palpatine, but he was strong enough to resist Palpatine. He was going to die. He was willing to die and not become his father. He was not going to beat Palpatine on his own.
Do you know why he was willing to die and not become his father? because when he took Vader's hand on the Death Star, then he looked at his own hand and he realized, I'm already on my father's path. I'm going that way. I mean, frankly, he walked into Jabba's palace and force-choked Gamorrean guards to remove them from his path. That was not a light side maneuver. Look at what he's wearing. He was looking at Anakin. He was looking like Anakin.
No, I agree. That was the whole point. And then he just turned away from it. He made that decisive choice. And then to see him be somebody else, didn't work for me.
Look, he had grand ideals.
It sure seemed like that Luke that we saw there was the same Luke we saw in 2 other movies. One called New Hope and one called Empire. That's the exact same Luke we saw.
And there's a touch of arrogance. True. There's a touch of arrogance through Luke through the whole OT. Okay, and then
he did kiss his sister.
He goes and builds even when you see him in Book of Boba Fett, there's still that arrogance in him. When Ahsoka's talking to him, when he's building his temple on that planet, when Ahsoka's talking to him, you can see the arrogance in his face. Okay, but you have to understand. So I am not a paid operative.
There you go. PK is a big troll. That's what we like. We love PK. PK lives.
I'm joking. I know he's joking. I'm just saying I am not a paid operative.
Oh, he don't worry. Don't tell him he's joking because he's gonna keep it up now. All right, go ahead.
But look.
Yeah, he did. He tried to force a kid to choose. Like Luke has always been like. Eventually, one day you look in the mirror and you're like, "Fuck, I'm by myself. I lost Baby Yoda." The guy that was my mentor and I lost him. I've kissed my sister. I had my nephew burn this bitch down. Like, yeah, you're going to go like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I give up on this shit. Oh, and my dad killed himself to save my life. My dad killed himself to save my life. Eventually, I could see somebody going like, yeah, dude, I'm good.
But think about it. You've wanted to be something else your whole. Think about it from how you would feel. You've wanted to do a certain thing your whole life. You've had this thing of wanting to be somebody your whole life. You finally get to a point where everybody knows you in the galaxy. His name was known after killing Palpatine, and then you think you get and Han says it very well. Delusions of grandeur. And when you build up yourself as a hero, and when you got everybody calling you a hero, and then you go and build this Jedi temple, this thing that you've wanted to do your whole life, and it gets smashed by your student, by not only your student, but your nephew.
Ultimate failure.
That would crush a lot of people.
No, but that's not his first crushing blow. Like that's his 5th. Like eventually you take somebody else. Eventually you just gotta like roll with it. Wayseeker hates Santa Claus. All right, thank you everybody for showing up. Let's thank Thad. Thank you for being here. Dom, we're glad you made it.
I want to see more Thad versus Dom. Because Dom didn't get here in time. There was going to be some nice fireworks between it. I don't have to push buttons anymore.
Dom's turn to leave.
This is what Wayseeker does. He tries to get me in these battles.
Yeah. Marco did it all day. Don't blame this on me. Marco did all these crazy theories about
Dom. You're not. Wayfarer's not.
You can't blame me today.
Wayseeker's not the only one.
He called you Wayfarer. He called you Wayfarer. I like that.
Wayfarer. Boring as a sofa shop.
Wayseeker wasn't the only one who's trying to get you and me in a dust up. No. Brucifer mentioned it the other night on another show, talking about it was going to be me versus you.
I don't think that's a good idea. I'm the only person who takes care of people.
I'll be honest with you. I'm, and they'll tell you straight out that I have my my gripes with Disney, Kathleen Kennedy, and
No, you have made up solutions that you don't really realize.
The fact is that I believe that Disney fucked up what Star Wars should really be. They did it their way, and I know that they want to do, for the fan. They have their fans and their way of storytelling. Bad stories. And you get the sequel trilogy when you get bad stories.
But you just heard that it's not him; it's George Lucas.
I know. But look, at the end of the day, as years go on, look, the prequels were in love when they first came out.
No,
people are loving the prequels.
We're getting back to old Dom. We're breaking through back to old Dom. Go, Dom. Keep going.
I'm just saying, people love the prequels now much more, embrace them now than they did back then. But, look.
And the same's going to happen with the sequel trilogy.
That's what Dom's saying. That's what he's saying. You got to let him get. You stepped up.
I might be 6 feet under by that time, but I tell you what.
And hey, guys, look.
This is. Hold on. Go, Dom. Go.
No, I'm just saying, look.
There's no way. There's no way Disney is messing up Star Wars when you get this character.
No, get it out of there. Seeker, why did you troll Dom? Way Seeker.
Blue Ewok.
He was there. He went. He did the full turn. It's like a year ago when he's like, "Hey, listen, guys, they're gonna give us the end of the story. They're gonna make the sequels better."
I have my battles with Disney for what they're doing, this and that. But at the end of the day, if I really sit down and I really put in perspective that these things are made for us to enjoy.
Yeah, he's back.
You hate him, but
you know what, Dom?
Screw you, BK. We got him back. We got him back.
I'm too old to be fighting over stuff that is put out there for entertainment. Look, I'll be first to tell you, I may not like it. I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. I'm not gonna say no because I love Star Wars. I'm never gonna not love Star Wars. I think Star Wars is it grew me up to who I was, and I enjoyed it every moment.
And like I said,
times change.
He's back. Guess who's
like
back?
I said earlier in the show, there's a little of something for everybody in Star Wars.
Dude's back.
There's yeah, they are. There's a little bit of everything in Star Wars for anybody. Okay.
Yep.
And that's the good part about it. And see, I don't defend and I don't detract either way. The way I see Star Wars is it means a certain thing to me, but it means a certain thing differently to everybody. Okay. And
Star Wars is for everybody. It might not be for you.
I'm not a contrarian. Okay. And there are some things that I think that they've done wrong. And there are some things that I think people just nitpick too much. And we can all find something to love or something to hate about it. But at the end of the day, if you love Star Wars, then find the part of it that you love. All
right, we have to wrap. We're going second wrap here. Listen, Dom is back again. We got positive Dom back. It looks like we got him out of the hole, folks. We've been working on that for over a month now. It looks like he's coming back to us.
Mountain Dew came and
slowly Mountain Dew, trying to sell stuff. Thad, thank you for stopping by. I am getting out of here. I'm about to hit the outro. Make sure you check out all the shows. I don't know what they are, but I did half of them this week, so I should have figured them out, I guess. All right. Anyways, Pete's back. Thank the Lord. I think he can make thumbnails.
But I want to get one thing straight.
What?
They better fucking goddamn fix Boba Fett.
Oh.